This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth for a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation. Trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you, committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today. And live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Fly Condor Airlines non-stop to Frankfurt and connect effortlessly to most European destinations. Relax and start your vacation in comfort. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today and book your next adventure.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, there are a million different reasons why you might get punched in the face. Let's see, you're involved in combat sports. You work in fast food and you shorted someone on a chicken nugget. Or, as I went to the news, you ride the New York City subway, period. There are all kinds of situations. We're getting punched in the face. Well, it's just the end result. Yesterday, our very own Mike Hawk brought us a story of a guy who tried to kidnap a woman's 2-year-old daughter. He did not get the child, but he got 5 knuckles upside his head by mama. She was not playing that game. Now, parents are always protective of their kids, even if your kid is, say, I don't know, a 35-year-old global icon. Case in point, Taylor Swift's father punched a member of the Australian paparazzi in the face. And as a parent, I get it. But it's not every strike to the face that has heroic origins. You know, they're protecting their family. You're protecting your kids. A woman in Kennewick, Washington, yeah, she got a fist to the face just before a mugger snatched her purse and took off running. A doctor in Kentucky, he had his license suspended. Can you believe this? For punching a patient in the face. Keep in mind, it's not that the patient was giving him guff. As I understand the story, he was having a difficult time, the doctor was, after surgery, removing something from the patient. So he was kind of cussing, trying to remove this thing, couldn't figure it out, finally got frustrated, and punched the patient in the face. As it turns out, you can't do that. Who knew? But anyway, today we're talking about getting punched in the face, smacked upside the head, kicked in the jimmy, whatever it was, some kind of blow came your way and you had to take it. So our question today, brought to you by our friends at Advanced Hair Restoration, is, I can't believe an argument about blank led to a physical confrontation.
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like KISW on Facebook, follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth for a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation. Trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you, committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today. And live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With non-stop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several European cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation and make it even more memorable by offering comfortable and spacious cabins where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Oh, this Bosch miter saw really is smooth.
Feeling smooth.
Who said that?
It's your inner Bosch, baby. I'm that scoobity-bebop smooth feeling you get when you make smooth cuts with that moobity-mibbity-mibbity-mubbity miter saw.
So I'll just keep ski-bop sawing then?
Now you're getting it. Beep-bop, beat-up, wow, miter saw is my
The
favorite.
more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
Auto insurance rates are on the rise, which is why you should call Vern Fonk Insurance. Vern Fonk could save you up to 20% on your auto insurance. The pros at Vern Fonk will do all the work, comparing different plans to find you the best options. And they can insure you over the phone. One call to Vern Fonk could save you up to 20%. Call 206-408-5094. 206-408-5094.
Remember to honk when you drive by Vern Fonk.
Restrictions apply based on a Q3 2023 study of Vern Fonk Insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number 1070622.
Tell us away we go. Welcome to the 20th anniversary season, episode number 4312. What a large and in charge program we have for you today, a guaranteed future repeat. As once again, we will be joined by Taryn Daly and Steve Mix from the Daily Mix Morning Show. We're going to sit and spin, go back to the 90s a bit here, with kind of with a twist, so to speak.
What is a twist?
Well, we've got
The 1890s.
10 guilty pleasure songs from the 90s. What is a guilty pleasure song? Typically, it is a song that might not be necessarily in your favorite genre of music, or maybe a band that you necessarily enjoy, or maybe
I
it
think
is.
the easy way to explain it is you're in your car, the song comes on the radio. Even though you turn up the radio, you also put up your window.
That's exactly what it is.
You're not trying to share this
Right.
joy you have with anyone.
I will gladly tell you how much I enjoy a lot of Bee Gees tunes. However,
Is that guilty now?
if I am in my car and I'm driving, I will probably have the window up if they are on the air and I'm blasting them.
Really?
Yes.
The Bee Gees, man?
The Bee Gees.
I don't know. I'm a Bee Gees apologist.
Me too. I'm just sitting here.
But you won't share this with people.
Correct.
Okay.
I will share it. You can't see me and hear me listening to it at the same time. I can tell you I like it.
But I'm
you
not
can-
going to let you listen.
You can't have the pleasure of seeing me enjoy it.
Okay. All right.
How's that?
Guilty pleasure.
Guilty pleasure. But in this instance, because a lot of these songs are fairly popular, Mike, what you have done is you have taken the meat of the song, the main part of the song.
Correct.
And you put it into the system backwards.
Yes, I did.
On purpose?
Yeah.
Okay, just make it short.
I mean, yeah, totally.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, that's
So
what
basically, what you're saying is these songs are pretty easily identifiable.
right. So about 60% of the songs on this list, you guys already know what these songs are. So I could go up there and just say, all right, first one to guess it, but that's going to go too fast. So I just want to add a little extra challenge. You guys
Right,
get to
okay.
listen to it backwards.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay. Sit and spin coming up at 4:30. And today on the question, we're going to talk about things that got a little bit confrontational to a physical standpoint. But there's always something that leads up to it. And typically, that is just oftentimes some of the dumbest stuff
Usually it is.
that leads to some of these things. And we'll start with this story out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And sports teams, they go to great lengths to ensure that everybody who attends a game in person ends up having an enjoyable experience.
Don't be a jerk.
But we have seen enough to know this. The two sports where the most physical confrontations happen, without question, are football and baseball games. Now, I have never seen a video. I know they're out there. You can send them in if you want, of people getting in a fight at a hockey game. I'm sure it happens.
Sure.
They fight on the ice.
It just doesn't seem like the frequency.
NBA basketball
I've
games.
seen it firsthand in hockey games.
You have. Okay.
I got threatened by Philadelphia Flyers fans when I was like 13. My brother was like 20.
Well, granted,
But they're
you were
from Philly. They can't
Right,
help
but I mean, like,
themselves.
I've seen fights at hockey games.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if I've seen one at a basketball game. I've seen them online.
to me, when it just seems like
Football is the big one.
when the videos come out online, it's typically baseball or it's typically football.
I think
And
because
those
you
were the
have
fans.
more time to not watch the game, right? So if you're watching hockey or basketball, yes, you might get in a fight, but the truth is the action's always happening unless there's a timeout or an injury, right? Football, you get 7 seconds of play, and then you got about 35, 40 seconds before anything happens again. And when you're drunk in a crowd of thousands of people, in that time, it is amazing what you can come up with to say that will get someone to punch you in the face. In baseball, I mean, 95% of it, you got time to piss people off.
And there's a barrier. With hockey, you're never going to see a fan get into a fight with a hockey player.
Not anymore. It has happened.
But in NBA basketball, it can happen. It has happened.
Oh, yeah.
Malice at the Palace.
Fights spill into the stands occasionally. I've never seen a football player getting involved with a fight with a fan unless the fan jumped on the field. Or in the case of the new football league, he said something to the guy and he just got slapped in the face.
Who was the guy? Was it last season, 2 seasons ago? Was it dude from Cleveland or the Cowboys started going up into the stands? It's at the end of the game. I do not know what the fans said, but they're drawing a little bit. It's after the game. Whoever this player was on the losing team, so probably Cleveland. But, like, he started climbing over the wall, and they had to pull his ass down.
There was one in Denver years ago, too. Somebody threw a snowball and, like, hit a player, like, through his face mask and, like, cut his eye or something.
Oh.
He definitely jumped to the stage.
Now, soccer, that's the full experience. The players can fight. The fans can fight with the players. The fans can fight with each other. There can be a complete and total mob breaks loose. I mean, that sport is a sport where, man, anybody can get into it at any given point in time.
You know, someone here on the text line, I think they nailed it. The sport that you're most likely to see a fight, which obviously is not combat sports, parents and softball games.
You're going to see a fight?
You are correct.
You're going to see
You're
a fight?
going to see a fight.
Oh, yeah. Well, Little League, all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, sadly, you're 100% correct.
All the mixed stuff you've seen, UFC, mixed martial arts and all that, you've never seen a fight in the stands, right?
No, I have.
Oh, you have seen that?
Yes.
Oh, well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I don't know. You seem stuck on this theory. Like, I'm pretty sure I've seen a fight at almost every sporting event. But MMA, if you go to an MMA event, there's almost always a dust-up.
Oh, really?
Same with boxing.
Huh.
Because you got a bunch of people that, like, a lot of people are boozing, and then you have a lot of people that think they know fighting that don't. And then that annoys somebody. Oh, it's common.
Really? Okay. I did not know that. Well, sports teams, as they say, you try to have an enjoyable experience, but every once in a while you go through some situations with tens of thousands of fans packed into a place. So the Pirates, according to their employee handbook, they instruct their employees at PNC Park to adhere to the same philosophy as far as having a pleasant and wonderful, almost Disney-like experience. One of them failed to exercise that proper amount of restraint, based on a video of an altercation that unfolded when the team hosted the Padres on Sunday afternoon. According to CBS News, an unnamed worker witnessed 2 fans harassing an employee at a concession stand. And I don't know what that argument was about. But
that is my question, is I've seen this video. Is what were they saying to that security guard before he kind of loses?
Well, what were they saying to the concession stand worker to get him to come over and intervene in the first place?
Yeah.
Right. So he comes over. They're talking to the woman who's serving them.
All right.
And I'm not sure what that was all about. But either way, now it turns to this guy who is trying to get them away from her. Now, then it started getting physical. I don't know what they were saying to each other because you really cannot hear the audio.
All right. I have not seen this video.
But they are in each other's face.
Oh, it's good.
They're in each other's face. The one dude has got he's about 6 inches shorter. Looks like he's got about a 6-inch reach disadvantage as well on this guy, but he doesn't care. He is just jabbering. So this guy's had enough. He gets a couple in, right? Well, then this guy starts to spit at him, and he repeatedly spits, maybe 2 or 3 times or attempts to. I'm not sure that he hit him.
Correct. The security guard kind of gives him a good punch.
Yeah.
You're right, but then he goes back and he keeps spitting at him.
Right. All right, I'm watching this now.
And then
they're definitely in each other's face. So this has gotten personal.
That's when the security guard does something I've never seen before. He basically takes his belt off. All right?
Yeah.
And starts whipping this guy with it.
Well, now the guy wants nothing to do with
starts
him.
beating him. I have never seen a grown man take a belt off and beat another man before. That was a move.
Okay, wait. The belt's coming now. The belt's coming out. So the other guy ran away, but then the other guy's now taken off his coat and hat, and he's come back.
Yes, exactly. But the other guy's like, the hell with it. It's almost like when you're trying to scare the living bejesus out of your kid. So you start taking the belt off. I mean, trust me.
It works for me.
I've watched the belt taken off a lot more than I've been hit with it. That was just like, keep talking.
Well, no, if I saw the belt come off, I also got hit. There was never a bluff, man.
There was never a bluff on the belt?
There was never a bluff.
Oh, I got a couple bluffs.
Like, if he plays chicken, he ain't driving off the road. I'm just letting you know, man.
Yeah, like the way they make it snap.
He didn't even do that. He didn't make it a big, to my father's credit, right? He did not make it a big production. Like, you knew you were in trouble. He starts reaching for the belt. He's not waiting for you to say anything. He's not waiting for you to plead your case. Like, the belt is going to come off and is going to make contact with your ass. And so he wasn't like a guy that, like, snapped it first. Like, the belt came out and it was on your ass. Yeah. That was it. But to your point, there was no production, so it sucked worse. 100% of the time, he undid it. You're like, oh, no. So I hear these stories of, man, my dad would do this. I'm like, no. man, if he pulled the belt out, it was hitting your ass.
Yep.
Period.
Now we go to Ohio, where a Wellsville man is facing an assault charge after allegedly punching an employee at an East Liverpool Dairy Queen over an incorrect order.
Come on.
Mike had this story the other day in headlines. There was a shift change going on at the Dairy Queen, and so it was taking his food a little bit longer. I do not know if he was in line at the drive-thru or he was waiting inside, but either way, obviously
he was inside.
He came inside at some point in time. And according to police, they were called there. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. The victim told officers that the male customer became angry about an incorrect food order. So the employee said the man continued to yell after being told to stop by other employees. She stated that she said, look, we're going to correct the situation. Just give us a second. The man then went behind the counter in an area not allowed for customers and punched the woman in the jaw. The victim and a witness told police that a male employee intervened. This kid who intervened, he's not a male employee. I mean, he's a male, yes. He's also a child. I don't know if this kid looks like he's 12. It looked like, like a baby monkey jumping on the back of mom. I mean, he's just trying to hold this dude down. He's a little dude because he's a kid. But he did intervene and struck the man in the back of the head before leaving the restaurant. So then the man takes off. Police posted a video and a photo of the assailant on Facebook, asked for the public's health. The post was later updated to state the individual had been identified and was in custody. Court records say the guy is 61 years old. His name is James Wicker. He was arraigned Thursday and pleaded not guilty to an assault charge and misdemeanor, and he was let right out of the courtroom. And no jail time for that guy who,
come on, man,
jumped behind a counter, punched a woman in the face.
Well, is he going through like the whole process or just like?
I mean, he might do a night or so, but what I'm saying is typically I would think that if you would assault someone and you were to be arrested for that you might end up in a cell for a few hours or anything like that.
Oh, so there's process of that
they
was
just
it.
put him in right into court, and judge said this is your deal and get out of here, and now you're on bail.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes back and forth, right? Somebody like that, like he could also not have a blemish. So you get in front of the judge and they'll just go, all right, you're on your own reconnaissance. You got to come back and do the court date.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I agree. When it's assault, I don't, right? Certain things I go, there's nothing else on this guy's record, right? Let's cut him some slack. If it's assault, dude, he assaulted someone, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's at a Dairy Queen. There's not even a good story. I'm waiting to hear. I don't know.
I'm with you. I just know from my personal experience how depending on where you are, it varies greatly, right?
Sure.
And I looked at that woman and I said, I don't have anything on my record. She goes, you're the wrong color in the wrong jail.
Yeah.
Right? Thousands of dollars. So this guy, probably because he's older, was like, I just freaked out. They were like, all right.
You're the right color in the right jail.
I'd ask them, wait, what did you order from Dairy Queen? And if I agreed, then I'd be mad if I didn't get that.
How about you got chicken strips with French fries and Texas toast?
You think that's it?
I believe so.
They're supposed to have good burgers.
That's supposed to be one of their gold standards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our question, I can't believe an argument about blank led to a physical confrontation. 206-803-ROCK.
If you ever want to lay a trap for Miles, put out Texas toast and potato wedges.
There he is hanging from the tree now by his ankles.
Well, I'm just saying.
With the Texas toast in the middle of the
just
forest.
the smile that comes over his he's like, Texas toast.
God, it's so good.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
French toast.
How'd you trap him?
You name it.
Texas toast.
Most people would go shot of whiskey. It's like, no.
Texas toast.
He's already been out there with his whiskey. You just lay out some Texas toast, butter, garlic, some potato wedges. So you can catch one.
You got the Pepperidge Farm Texas toast garlic bread.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Oh man, better than anything you made on the whole plate.
He circled around the Texas toast, and then we put some butter on it.
I'm not kidding you.
Poof!
I don't care what you made as a meat or a side. That Texas toast is going to win.
Yeah, baby.
It's going to be the
It's
best
basically
thing.
the trap is just a little toaster oven with Texas toast and potato wedges.
That's it.
I'll smell
Texas toast.
We got ourselves a Miles.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Hello, Tony. Welcome to the men's room.
Not again.
Hola. All right, gentlemen, I got a quick story for you. So I was 20, my brother was 22. We had an apartment together in Woodinville. We always got along really well. And I got home from a crappy day of construction, and my brother was sitting in the chair watching TV, eating some watermelon. I wanted him to change the channel. I don't know what to. Anyways, I was not in the mood. He threw a piece of watermelon at me. We got to have some words. He got up. I tagged him with a quick left and what I thought was a really strong right. He did not move. He's a brick house. And he hit me so hard that I fell backwards about 5 feet, and my butt went through the drywall, and I was stuck. I literally could not get out of the drywall.
This is an older brother?
we both started laughing and we shrugged it off. He could have just had his way from there, but.
Was he your older brother, you said?
Yeah, he was 22 at the time. I was 20.
Okay, all right. Was he that much bigger than you or just that much stronger?
You know, we're both 5'9" and stuff, and we're both real stout and pretty strong. I mean, anybody we've ever gotten in a fight with, we hit, they felt it. And so I thought I got him good, man. But, we're stout guys. We're not huge fat guys, but, no, we're thick.
Okay, well, you do construction. What's he do for a living?
I used to do construction. I'm an appraiser now. He's a UPS driver.
Okay, all right. Well, see, those guys are in shape.
Lifting all that crap and doing all that kind of stuff.
I mean, seriously, man. If you're a UPS driver, the amount of steps you put in every day, all the lifting that you do and everything else, probably do not need to work out or go to the gym.
You ever shocked by some of the Amazon drivers, right? So you get Amazon drivers that are in Amazon trucks. They're built like the UPS, FedEx guys. I understand. But you get those people that kind of like third party themselves, driving around their Prius, they'll drop some packages. Yeah. So there are some squirrely looking people dropping off the package. You know, like everyone else has a uniform, so even if they look like they had a rough night the night before, you still understand that they're putting some kind of professional representation here, you know, no matter how they feel. But, man, there are some dudes that roll up, and I'm like, who the F is this? Then I realize, okay, they have a package. My wife has ordered something. Fine. I don't know what's in the package, but, like, there's no way they visually saw you and gave you this job.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, whatever was on your resume, fantastic for you. But there's no way they saw you and said, yes, let's hire that.
Our question, I cannot believe an argument about blank led to a physical confrontation. 206-803.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth for a healthier heart for a healthier you. Smile Generation trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With non-stop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several European cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation and make it even more memorable by offering comfortable and spacious cabins where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Man, that was easy.
Bulldog Rotary Hammer!
Hello?
It is I, He-Man, your inner Bosch.
Inner...
Bosch!
I'm sorry, what?
That powerful feeling you get when you can powerfully blast through concrete. Say it with me.
What, like right now?
Yes! We have the power!
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a...
Auto insurance rates are on the rise, which is why you should call Vern Fonk Insurance. Vern Fonk could save you up to 20% on your auto insurance. The pros at Vern Fonk will do all the work, comparing different plans to find you the best options. And they can insure you over the phone. One call to Vern Fonk could save you up to 20%. Call 206-408-5094. 206-408-5094.
Remember to honk when you drive by Vern Fonk.
Restrictions apply based on a Q3 2023 study of Vern Fonk insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number 1070622.
Rock. All right, this one comes our way from the 50th anniversary Saturday Night Live celebration. So, Paul McCartney was in attendance. So was Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm and Seinfeld fame.
All right.
And they got a chance to sit down and talk. What question, if you were sitting down with a member of the Beatles, would you want to ask?
Paul McCartney, I'd ask him if he eats missing ribs.
Okay.
I know he's a vegan or vegetarian. Definitely vegetarian, perhaps vegan.
I think he might be vegan.
No, I don't know. Probably something about bass, man. He's notorious as being one of the best bass line walkers, as it were.
Okay. And can you recognize that by listening to some of their songs? Like, can you say, like, oh, you know what? That's
After
pretty good.
someone pointed it out to me, yes.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
now I just pay more attention, yeah.
Okay. Well, he's a big deal. And Paul McCartney's
Yes,
sitting there.
there's that.
Yeah.
Sir Paul McCartney, please.
And Larry David is Larry David. He's a big deal, too. The most successful television shows, probably, or at least spin-offs, everything. I mean, depending on how you want to look at it. I mean, Seinfeld was just a tree of just everything that fell off of it was pretty good stuff. So he asked Paul McCartney, have you ever been hit in the face with a fist? Has anyone in your life ever punched you?
Yeah. Seems like a fair question.
Yeah.
Seems like the right person to ask and the right person to answer.
And Paul answered the question. Larry says, quote, he said there was an incident in his youth when he was like 13 or 14, and somebody headbutted him. That's what he told Larry David. This was part of the Fly on the Wall podcast with Dana Carvey and David Spade. Because David Spade, I guess, or maybe Dana Carvey was there, and they were eavesdropping on this conversation.
Okay, so
like, go ahead. You get a chance to meet Paul McCartney. The first thing you do, Larry, is ask him, has he ever been punched in the face?
Right.
Now, in my mind, that is a backhanded question that you ask someone who obviously has not.
Mm-hmm.
And you know those people who have not been punched in the face because
the way they choose to treat other people.
That is exactly right. So typically, if you ask someone...
To Larry's credit, I am interested in that, though.
Yeah, I mean, I just wonder...
they were so famous when they were young.
That's the thing.
It's like
right?
Nobody takes a swipe at a beetle.
Unless it's another beetle.
You would never ask Liam Gallagher if he'd been punched in the face.
You would say, how many times have you been punched in the face?
How many times is your brother?
Today.
Or how many times
how many times have you been punched in the face? By 9 a.m. on an average day, how many times have you been punched in the face? Or how many people have you punched in the face?
I read something about that today with the reunion tour coming up. How are they going to separate these two? Whether it's on stage, backstage, traveling, all those things.
They can't be together.
How do we
except
keep
on
these
stage.
two people from punching each other in the face?
And they figured it out. You can't have them around each other. Because anything else, they're going to punch each other in the face. Somebody here on the text line that says, what would I ask Paul McCartney if I had the chance to ask him a question? This is definitely a question I'd want to know the answer to. I just don't know that I'd lead with it. But they said, what was it like making love to a one-legged woman?
You know what? I forgot.
It's a strong question.
I forgot all about that. But...
Oh, this guy didn't, and he wants to know. I would actually want to know, like, all right, man, that's a ridiculous question, but what did Paul tell you?
Wait, wasn't there something a little bit off with her? I mean, other than...
What do you mean? I think she was...
Said there was something off-putting. Like, she...
Oh, she was definitely off-putting.
But she did something. She was one of those people, when you found out why he was not with her anymore, you went, that makes sense. This is not...
What was her name?
God, I can't remember.
It wasn't Linda. That was the first
she
wife.
won
Was it
Dancing with
Penny
the
or
Stars with one leg.
I don't think she won it. Maybe she did. I remember when they said they're putting her, she's one-legged. They put her on Dancing with the Stars. And maybe 2 episodes in, I remember Ted covered this on TV Time. He's like, hey, you're not going to believe this. Peggy, or whatever the hell her name was. Yeah, she fell over on Dancing with the Stars. Like, yeah, she has one leg. I'm dancing. What did you expect to happen?
I can't remember. All right. Yesterday we brought you the
Heather
story.
Mills?
Heather Mills.
Well done.
Thank you, Ted. Police are searching for a man they say fled after being punched in the face because he tried to kidnap a kid in the Mount Tabor neighborhood. Now, this happened 2 o'clock last week. Officers got a call of a suspicious person. And when they arrived, the child's mom, Scotty Grimes, spoke with him. She told officers that around 8 a.m., she stepped inside her home real quick for less than a minute while leaving the stroller that was with her 23-month-old daughter outside. So the stroller's outside. She steps in for less than a minute. When she comes back out, the stroller had disappeared. Someone came onto our property and took my child. It's all been very traumatic. I didn't sleep last night. And when I did, I just had nightmares. Grimes said she ran out into the street and saw a man less than a block away, pushing the stroller. When she caught up with him, she punched the man in the face, and he fled without the child, thank God. That's one of the more amazing things about this, that she was able to get up there and physically intervene, according to Portland police. That's very dangerous, but certainly as a parent, I think any of us would do the same thing. Hell, we had a story about the guy that jumped on a bobcat the other day to get it off its dog. So, yes,
his dog,
child in a stroller. Yeah, you're going to go after that. Grimes said she's incredibly grateful her daughter is safe, but keeps thinking about what did not happen. Oh, by the way, this guy is still on the run. White man in his 50s, about 6 feet tall, and 250 pounds. Our question:
250 pounds? She hit his ass once. And
Did you see her?
I did. Like I said, she was exactly what I thought I would see.
That's like it's like Nada's aunt.
Yeah, basically.
You know what I mean? It's like, seriously. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a woman that, she can handle the situation. I can't believe an argument about blank led to a physical confrontation. 206-803-ROCK.
Just real quick, we got just the guy had asked what he would ask Paul McCartney if he had the chance. What was it like making love to a one-legged woman? Well, we got a response. Not from Paul McCartney, but a different listener says, my wife lost her leg 3 years ago. You get used to it. So I said, is that good or bad or the same? It's a little bit off. She had the whole leg taken off. So it wasn't the knee down, like the whole leg.
I mean, if somebody's just missing it from the knee down, it seemed like you would just
carry on as it were.
Like when I drive, I have my left hand on the wheel and then my right hand on like, what do you call that? Not the stick shift.
The shift?
Put it into gear.
The shifter, yeah.
Yeah. So to me, if she only has one leg, that one could be kind of sticking up, kind of hold on to it. Like you're changing gears.
All right, but say the whole leg is off, like this guy. This guy, he says, this is different. You got new positions.
Well, I mean, a table with only 3 legs can still stand up.
I mean, yeah, but the way it balances is different. I think that's what it's like playing a pool table at a bar, right? The slate is kind of mushy in some places and all that, but when you know that bar, you know where the ball slows down like it's quicksand, you know what's the fast rail, etc. So, but until you know, it's going to take a little practice. That's my guess, because she lost the whole leg, man, not just the knee down. So that's...
Yeah, you know what? You're right. He should have just divorced her.
Oh, damn, man. Wow. Wow. Ted meant that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it like, I don't know. If I met a girl, she was attractive and cool, I don't think I'd care if she was missing a leg or an arm.
My buddy Paul, the first place we moved out to, he started dating this chick, Diane. Very, very hot. Also had one leg. I did not know that she only had one leg. Anyway, at that time, at the first place, we both paid, like you, Miles, $125 a month, but we had to share a bedroom. No big deal. We each had our mattress on the floor. There's a dresser between us. I'm getting home late from the bar. He is in bed with Diane. They're not having sex, but they're asleep. But I open the door, and the light from the hallway shines in. And on the dresser between our beds, keep in mind, I did not know that she had one leg. She'd put her prosthetic leg. So I freaked the F out. It just looked like a human leg sitting on her dresser. And as best I could tell, at this point, I'm thinking maybe they're dead, right? Because they're just laying in bed as silhouettes. There's a human leg. I'm like, Jesus Christ. So they snap awake, like, what's going on? I'm like, what the F is that? And Diane throws a stump from under the blanket. She's like, I have one leg. I was like, Diane, I did not know that, man. She's like, how did you not know? I'm like, I just thought you had a limp. I didn't know it was an artificial leg. I really didn't, but it explained a lot.
I can't believe an argument about blank led to a physical confrontation. 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Juan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Oh, yeah.
How y'all doing?
Doing great, Juan. How about you?
Are you enjoying this weather?
We're inside, Juan. We're doing a radio show in a big building with windows that don't open.
No, yeah, my story, it has a backstory.
All right.
It was over a song, an old song. You know what a corrido is, right?
I don't know.
A burrito?
Corrido. It's like, what do you call that? Like John Henry. Remember, you know John Henry? The song John Henry by Johnny Cash.
It's like a talking song?
Is this the guy who died with a hammer in his hand?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I do know.
Yes, it's a story.
Yeah, I do know the story.
And there's a song from my dad's town. So I had mariachis come over and play for my cousin's graduation from the U of A. And I tell this guy, my cousin's husband, yeah, we had mariachis over and they played this song for me. And he was like, well, what do you know about that song?
The civil authorities have issued a required monthly test for Benton, WA, Franklin, WA, and all of Washington beginning at 2 p.m. and ending at 3 p.m. This is a test. This is only a test of the emergency alert system in Washington State issued by the Washington State Emergency Operations Center on behalf of NOAA. In the event of an emergency, this system would bring you important information. The following tones will conclude this test from the Washington State Emergency Operations Center.
And they started arguing with him, and my dad just told him, so how much did you lose on that fight? But my dad didn't want to fight them out of respect for the family. I don't give a crap if it's family or not.
Okay.
So he asked me, why'd you do it? I said, well, remember when they started with you?
Bedroom colors, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now back to the program.
Let's talk about boxing. My uncle, who died a couple of years ago, when I'm younger, he's like, I knew he's in the military, right? So we're talking about boxing, and he's like, I don't know if you knew this, but I boxed in the military. I'm like, come on, man. He's like, not for long, but I did, man. He's like, I trained, and his drill sergeant had hated him. He's like, this was established, no big deal, but after boot camp, man, I'm off doing other things, but I'm not training to box. Well, finally, they organize it in the mess hall that he's going to box some other guy that wants to box. He's like, whatever. But there's like 200 guys there. Everyone's fired up. I'm not the only guy that's going to fight that night. But finally, my time goes to go up there. It turns out his opponent was his drill sergeant from like 2 or 3 years ago, right? So my uncle's like, oh, that's the man I wanted to see. He's like, I didn't know he boxed, but like, that's the guy I hated. So now I'm looking across the ring. There's the drill sergeant. He's looking at me. I'm looking at him. And I thought, Stephen, you know what? This is the wonderful opportunity to show him what I've learned and knock his bitch ass out. So it's like, we touch hands. Says the bell rings. I said, what happened? He goes, I woke up like 2 minutes later, and he's still standing over me. And he says, Hill, I didn't like you then, and I don't like you now. He said, those are the last words that man spoke to me. So I was like, it was that bad? He said, after the bell rang, he says before he could get his gloves up to protect his face, he'd already been hit 30 times. He's like, this guy just wore my ass out, knocked me out, and waited for me to wake up just to say those words.
I didn't like you then. I don't
like you now. And he goes, that was it. He walked away.
And he never bumped into this dude in his service
Never
again?
Bumped into him again. Did not box again. He was like, that was enough, man. He's like, you know you're going to get hit in the face. He did not expect to get hit so many times in the face. Yeah, I think that was his issue. He's just like, man, that guy's hands flew, and that was it. I thought it was going to be some big, like, let me tell you what I did in the Army. And he built this thing up. I'm like, wait a minute. So you told me the story to find out you got your ass knocked out. He's like, yep, quickly. Okay.
And that was like our buddy, the filmmaker, Tommy from Philly. Like 2 weeks before my boxing match, he was like my last sparring session. He was just so much quicker.
Right.
Like I felt like I couldn't get a punch off. It was just like I just kept eating them and eating them.
So if you're a boxer, amateur or professional, right? So and I don't know if this is true, but they say like if you're a certain level of martial arts or something, like you have to register because you're now a walking deadly weapon, right?
Is that true though?
I don't know. The older I get, the more ridiculous it sounds. But who knows? Who knows? But I'm like, if that's shouldn't a boxer? Right, when you actually watch what they do, if you understand how much faster they are and where to direct the I'm just saying, against the average person, you have no chance.
Yeah.
I saw my buddy get punched by an amateur boxer. We didn't know he was an amateur boxer. My buddy kept staring at this guy at the bar. I'm going to rephrase this. This guy, Chuck, was not my buddy. Chuck was someone who I was very familiar with and in the same circle. But
Chuck would show up at the same bar you were at.
Absolutely. He knew the same people, but he just always looked for trouble. And at the time, it seemed stupid because, like, dude, everyone here is down on their luck. We're only in this bar. It's called the Dirt Church. There's a reason we are here right now. We're not doing great, but we can still have a good time together. But you got to come in, you got to find something. So most of the bar were regulars, so they kind of knew Chuck's deal. You kind of ignore them. And there's just two guys that no one recognized. They're only talking amongst themselves, sitting kind of in the back corner of the bar, but still at the bar itself. And Chuck, he makes the determination, and one of these two gentlemen was staring at me. We're like, Chuck, that guy was not staring at me. No, man, he was staring at me. Fine. So Chuck naturally confronts this guy. You staring at me, man? This dude looks at him and goes, bro, if I was, I apologize. I think it's one of those moments where when you're trying to remember something, you just kind of stare until you remember. It was just in Chuck's direction. Anyway, the guy, super apologetic. Chuck's like, why are you staring at me? Guy again, like, Hey, man, if I was, I apologize. But, like, I don't know you. I certainly have no beef with you. Just let it go. So now Chuck's not going to let this go because the whole bar's watching. And this is his opportunity. So he taps this guy on the shoulder and says, hey, man, you don't come in here and stare at me. Guy says, listen, buddy, whatever you do, just don't touch me again. No, do not put your hands on me again. And Chuck took his finger and his 2 pokes to the guy's chest. He said, or what? All right? This guy stood up, wasn't a really big dude or anything. He threw 1 punch, not to the face, hit Chuck in the stomach. And as my bud Hollywood tells the story, he swears to God that he saw Chuck's forehead and toes touch on the other side of this guy's elbow, that the punch was so tall. But then Chuck earned what we call the nickname the Transformer, because he stood for 1 second, and then he collapsed down to like the size of a Volkswagen Beetle. You know what I mean? Everything, each joint just snapped into place, and he was gone. So Chuck's just laying on the floor. The guy looks at us. He's like, sorry. We're like, look, dude, that's all him. We don't know what his problem was. We got no problem with him. Well, then his buddy explains, he's an amateur boxer. Amateur boxer. But even those guys, they're going to beat your ass. And after he said it, we're looking at his knuckles. He was clear. Then you start looking at his ears, and I go, oh, yeah, all the telltale signs of don't F with this guy, but Chuck missed it.
Best fight I've ever seen where David Goliath's situation was a cafeteria in middle school. And there was one day, man, cafeteria life was tough in West Virginia because there were a lot of people who were on special lunch programs and things like that. But when you went up to the woman as you got in line, even though she knew that there was a different person almost every day as far as the workers, they kind of were on a rotating basis, but they knew. But there were a lot of kids in there. But they always asked for your identification. And it was kind of like when you pay with food stamps.
Sure.
People behind you know. Like when my mom used to use food stamps, you know, they're definitive, they're food stamps, right? They come out of a book, they rip. There's denominations, they're food stamps. It was kind of like that at the cafeteria. There was one kid who was older than we were. He's either 1 year or 2 years older than we are. All right. But he's still in junior high school. But he's also a bully, and he's on the fixed lunch program.
You don't say all those things.
But this did not stop our group of friends from probably saying some things were pretty rude based on the fact that he worked the cafeteria like a jail. So if you had tater tots, all right?
Yeah.
And he wanted your tater tots, he's going to take the tater tots. It's just the way, I mean, like he's going to, there's an understood rule. He would sit in front of you. He would slide his tray over. This was a sectional tray.
Okay.
And he would scoop whatever he wanted to.
He actually slid his tray to you to take your stuff.
That way, it wasn't just this. It was this and just everything. Whatever he wanted. That was what. But it's also your lunch. Okay.
Yeah, that's the issue.
But my buddy Brett, man. So Lance comes out. He scoops like all the good stuff out of there, and all that's left is like the sad
peas or green beans.
Exactly.
Yeah, nothing you want.
It was just, there was maybe 2 things left on there. And Brett had enough. And he stood up, and keep in mind, we're at a bench type setting. So he's still within the bench and the table. So he's kind of leaned over on him. And he takes his tray, and he picks it up, and he went to just bash him on the head with the tray, which would have not been the worst thing in the world. But the way he swung the tray, he swung it like a baseball bat.
Oh, no.
So when he caught Lance in the jaw, he caught him with the side of the tray.
Yeah.
I mean, like hard. Like a tooth flew out kind of thing. And dropped Lance. I mean, dropped him. And it was like, we were all like, yes!
He took down the beast!
He did. It was like, everyone was like high-fiving him, hugging him. Like, I don't even think he got suspended. Right. I think once because we all were like, look, this happens every day. Did he assault? No. Brett he just had enough. He just had enough. Like, he was hungry. He took most of his lunch.
He's fed up.
He just took the tray, and he smacked him in the sound of that tray, because it was in the basketball. We ate in the basketball auditorium.
Yeah.
The sound of that tray hitting him in the jaw, the sound his teeth made, the sound of him just falling. The whole thing was just one of the most awesome spectacles. It was like the greatest. It was like he was like a hero.
The fact that the lunchroom erupted, like, yeah,
thank God, because he wasn't just us.
Ding dong.
He did it to everybody. It wasn't, if you wanted your food, man, he's just going to come over and sit in front of you and scoop it over. What are you going to do?
Hit you with the tray.
Yeah.
Our question: I can't believe an argument about blank led to a physical confrontation. 206-803-ROCK.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth. For a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Fly Condor Airlines non-stop to Frankfurt and connect effortlessly to most European destinations. Relax and start your vacation in comfort. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today and book your next adventure.
Man, that was easy.
Bulldog Rotary Hammer!
Hello?
It is I, He-Man, your inner Bosch.
Inner...
Bosch!
I'm sorry, what?
That powerful feeling you get when you can powerfully blast through concrete. Say it with me.
What, like right now?
Yes! We have the power!
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. The Toyota Tundra and Tacoma are designed to outlast and outlive, backed by Toyota's legendary reputation for reliability. So get in a Tundra with the available iForce Max hybrid engine, delivering exceptional torque and towing capacity. Or check out a Tacoma. With available off-road features like crawl control, it can take you beyond the trails. Toyota trucks are built to last. So don't wait. Get yours today. Visit buyatoyota.com for deals and more. Toyota, let's go places.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth for a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation. Trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you, committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With nonstop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation by offering comfortable and spacious cabins. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
The shenanigans continue. This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Here's a weird one. Starbucks worker is recovering after being attacked by a monkey in the drive-thru.
A monkey.
Officials said the pet monkey was riding in a car with its owner when the owner stopped at a Mobile, Alabama Starbucks.
Exactly where you expect to find a monkey.
Somehow the monkey got free, escaped the car through the open window. The monkey then left from the vehicle into the window of the business and punched the employee in the head. Coworkers rushed the employee's side and pulled the monkey off of the man. The monkey then re-entered the customer's vehicle before the customer drove away. The owner of the animal could face charges. This remains an active animal services investigation. Probably had no idea that day that at work I'll be punched by a monkey. I cannot believe an argument about blank led to a physical confrontation. 206-803-ROCK.
One from the text that says, I can't believe my dad got punched in the face because he told my mom's brother, my uncle, not to hit on his own cousins at my parents' wedding anniversary.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. you'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth. For a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Fly Condor Airlines non-stop to Frankfurt and connect effortlessly to most European destinations. Relax and start your vacation in comfort. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today and book your next adventure.
This Bosch 2-in-1 impact driver rules.
Oh, yeah!
That couldn't have been.
Macho Man Randy Savage indeed. Yeah, a.k.a. you're in a Bosch. I'm a macho manifestation of that feeling you get when you use that 2-in-1 impact driver.
Oh, yeah?
Nah, say it with your chest, brother. Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah!
We'll work on that.
The more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch.
But teacher, when are we ever going to use math in the real world?
With Kelley Blue Book My Wallet on AutoTrader, you don't have to. At least not car math. Hit the road with confidence knowing exactly what you're going to pay each month for your car. AutoTrader.
That'll get you punched in the face every time. Yeah, could you not hit on your cousins? My bad. Shouldn't have been true.
That's not a tall request.
It's really not a big ask. Pretty simple thing. Hello, Luke. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Okay, so this happened many, many years ago at, I think it was 2009. It was a church. Basically, every second Saturday, my church used to have a men's breakfast with a lot of delicious food. And after breakfast, the kids would, the boys to be more specific, we would go upstairs and kind of hang out and play some video games. And do you guys remember Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga?
There was, I believe I saw it as an option on the Disney Channel. I think they carry that. It was a show, right?
Well, yes, but I'm talking about the original video game, not to be confused with the Yoda Chronicles.
Okay, not familiar.
Okay, well, this one was particularly the Wii version. You know about the Wii, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, best game system of all time, in my opinion. But the point is, the boys and I, we were playing Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga on the Wii at church, and this was before Lego Star Wars 3 offered where you can split and go into separate directions. So you were tethered on two-player mode, which was kind of frustrating. Like, if you wanted to go in one direction or the other direction, you couldn't do. You could either go one direction or the other. It's kind of like when you try to stretch a rope, you could only go so far.
Sure.
And of course, back in the day, that led to a lot of frustration. And one of the this was before my turn, so basically I don't remember their names, but one of the boys got really, really frustrated. He started swinging his Wii remote around in a fit of rage, and he accidentally knocked the other boy clean on the forehead. No, actually, I think it was on the temple by mistake. And of course, that kind of led to a kind of a pseudo, like a junior WWE kind of match, but not nearly as violent or gruesome. And
over Star Wars Lego Wii.
Well, look, you get hit in the face with the controller. I get it.
Yeah, the frustration while playing the game was what kind of led up to it. But what pulled the trigger, so to speak, was accidentally get smacked in the face. Now, nobody was bleeding or anything, no concussions, but some of the other adult men who were in the room after about 10 seconds, managed to successfully break the boys out of the fight. Although in the process, I ended up getting somebody accidentally swept my leg and I landed on my backside.
I don't think that was an accident,
No,
brother. I'm telling you right now, Luke, it's just the feeling I get. That was on purpose. But in the melee, they knew they could get away with it. There's no reason I think that. I just think that if you got leg swept, that perhaps it was very much a purpose. And I wasn't even there. But I feel like if I were, I may have taken that opportunity to do the same thing.
The sweeping of said leg?
The sweeping of said leg.
Trip him.
So I just read the text. That's
warning.
Below that.
Warning.
Below that.
Jesus Christ.
Fair shout.
Oh, my God, yeah. I really wish I could read that.
Yeah.
Save some.
Story you talked about earlier, Steve. We go to Kentucky. And
Come on.
Stop.
oh, man.
Think about the rest of us, dude.
I know it's pro Kentucky doctor has agreed to have his license put on probation for 5 years after a witness has said he hit a patient during surgery in 2023, though he denies the allegations.
He hit a patient during surgery?
Sorry.
Hey, John, keep going.
The Kentucky Board of Medical Licensure signed an agreed order. The order details the witness allegations and the actions taken by the hospital leadership in the license probation agreement. The incident occurred at the operating room on August 21st. 3 witnesses, all employees, reported seeing Martin hit a patient during the incident. One witness said Martin was having trouble removing an instrument from a tube placed in a patient during a shoulder surgery. Quote, he pulled while his voice was getting elevated and finally pulled the suture grasper out. He then proceeded to hit the patient on the right side of their face with his hand, according to the witness. A second witness similarly reported that Martin was visibly upset because he was struggling to get the instrument out. And after that, he did finally remove it, then proceeded to punch the patient in the right side of the face. Martin yanked the instrument out and then hit the patient in the face, according to the order. I guess he's been suspended for a while. Witness said a choice of words was said by Martin, and multiple instruments were being were being taken out aggressively or attempted to. So either way,
again, as I read the story, the patient did not do anything, right?
That is correct.
Come on.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ.
Sometimes they nail it, man.
That might. Oh, my God.
Come on, man.
Okay. That is actually the funniest text I've ever. Oh, God. Okay, moving on. One more story real quick. Hey, a Kennewick man is in jail after allegedly punching a woman and grabbing her purse moments after she withdrew $250 from an ATM. The 24-year-old woman had gone to Bank of America on Kennewick Avenue to get some cash, according to court documents. Witnesses reported seeing a large man in black clothing run up to her, demanding the money, and then punch her in the face before stealing her purse. Witnesses said he then ran west. Officers, with the help of police dog, did follow the trail of cosmetics and other items and arrested one Eugene Banks in the backyard of a home. He did not have the purse or cash on him at the time, but the man appeared to match the woman's description of her assailant. He was arrested and put in jail in lieu of $100,000 bail.
Good. Come on, man.
Yeah. Our question, I can't believe an argument about blank led to a physical confrontation. 206-803-ROCK.
Somebody said, are you guys still laughing about that text? Can you please share it? I said, nope.
We would read it to you, but we can't.
It's hilarious. We can't share it. And then someone texted me no, listen.
Did you see the one underneath it?
And that's from somebody different. Jesus Christ. Everybody got
That's great radio.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
All right. A Springfield man who allegedly tried to rob a Dairy Queen on North Grand Avenue Wednesday night got more than he bargained for when he was struck in the head and knocked out by another man who ran into the restaurant to help. Wyman Allen, who is 44, was charged Thursday with aggravated robbery and aggravated battery. He remained in the county jail on Thursday afternoon. Greg Marcandelli, the man who ran into the store to punch Allen in the head, said he was getting money out of an ATM inside the mobile gas station across the street from the DQ when a restaurant employee came running in to report a robbery in progress. So this guy, Mascardelli, he did not hesitate. He immediately jumped in his truck. He drove across the street. He ran into the Dairy Queen and ambushed the alleged robber. He said, I don't know, bad stuff happens, or S happens, and some people react, some people do not. Police were called in the restaurant at 8:44 Wednesday on the report of a robbery. When they arrived, they found Allen on the floor of the restaurant. Employees told police Allen came in, implied he had a weapon, and he demanded money. A police report said he then used his fist to strike a worker before hopping the counter and trying to unsuccessfully open the cash register. He also threw items around the restaurant at employees. In the meantime, police said one of the employees left the restaurant, ran across the street to the gas station to get some help. That's when the guy over there jumped into action, burst through the door of the restaurant, ran across the lobby toward Allen, punched him once in the head, kicked him on the ground, and caused him to collapse to the floor. So basically, he was a good Samaritan. He came in and saved the day.
I'm also guessing that they knew the dude that was working that shift at the gas station. Somebody said, dude, get Curly.
More than likely.
Right, Curly's just that big dude who's had stories every time they walk in there. Like, hey, Curly, handle some business for us, man.
Absolutely.
So the guy comes in and says, I have a weapon. Give me your money.
My fist.
Right, but then just punches somebody and hops over the counter to get the money?
Do you really think that's going to work, man?
It doesn't seem like it.
If your fists are your only weapon and I'm trying to rob a place, right, it just seems to me like this is not going to work. Because if I don't have a gun or a knife or some kind of weapon, once my back is turned at the register, someone hit me in the back of the head with something. You know what I mean? Like, to me, the successful robbery is I have a weapon, so you open the register. Right?
Correct.
I'm not turning my
other...
back to anyone. You open the register, you put the money here, and then I'll take it and leave.
Because in theory, like this Dairy Queen doesn't have one employee. You figure there's at least,
Right.
Mike, you worked at fast food, late nights. There's got to be at least, 3 or 4 people still?
Yeah, we had a skeleton crew of, I think, 2 people at one point.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
What time of day did you have the skeleton crew?
That started at like 11 o'clock.
But you couldn't, could you go in the restaurant at that
No,
point?
God,
Just drive through.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
So I'm
There's
thinking
the
if you
difference.
could walk into the restaurant, there's still got to be 3 to 4
Yeah,
employees.
Sure.
Yeah, you need one
So
on
with
the
this
window, one
guy's-
on the counter, and 2 one in the kitchen.
Right, so with this guy's theory, you'd have to walk around and knock out 4 people.
That's what I mean. Like, that
this-
to me is not a successful robbery unless it's daycare and the only people there are the students.
And I don't know fast food, but I know it's 7-Eleven, right? Like they're constantly taking 20s out or big bills.
Oh, yeah.
And putting them in that safe.
Yeah, that weird drawer thing down there.
Yeah, right, because it's an automatic safe that they can't get into. So it's I don't know. Robbing a fast food just seems like a bad idea. There could only be so much money in that till.
Yes, it's fast food. My buddy Leon used to work at McDonald's in Baltimore, and he hated it. But he did the breakfast shift. And I don't know what time he had to go in, but say he's there at 5 a.m. He comes home pissed one day. I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, man, some days, your day just starts bad. I'm like, well, what happened? He's like, one, I woke up and remembered I work at McDonald's. He's like, then after that, I get to McDonald's. I got to open the place. I'm the only guy there, and I'm just doing the general setup. They're not open for business yet. But the front door's unlocked because he's in there. He's like, the door flies open. He's like, this brother comes running in, jumps over the counter, ducks down, looks up at Leon, and just goes, shh, finger over mouth, right? So Leon's like, I'm not asking any questions. Maybe 20 seconds later, 4 more brothers come running in here. They are hot. They are angry. Man, have you seen? Leon said he pointed straight down. Said, the brother's hiding right there, man. I'm like, you dived him out? He goes, look, bro, I'm not getting involved in anything that guy's got going on. Guy looked terrified. They dragged his ass out of there. He's like, I locked the door. I'll put on music. Opened up an hour later. He's like, I don't want to know. I don't care. I'm like, you think they were going to kill him? He's like, maybe. Either way, not involved. Yep. Dude is right there. Getting him out of my restaurant.
I was going to say, where I grew up, right, my cousins live in Riverdale. Riverdale, Maryland is not a great place to live. Same thing. It's my uncle. It's me and a couple of my cousins going to McDonald's on an afternoon. I don't know what was going on, but it's chaos in there, right?
All right.
And I will phrase it this way. Me and my cousins and my uncle stuck out.
Okay.
Right? So it's chaos in there. The employees are yelling at each other. And the dude working looks my uncle dead in the eye and goes, and he's black. And he's like, I'm just sick and tired of working with all these ends. You know what I mean? And I remember my uncle just being like, They're like, we're kids. We're laughing. And he's just like, what is my uncle supposed to say?
Right.
I don't think he's supposed to agree with you.
Nope.
That guy was pissed.
When I was in high school, there was these, I don't know if you guys have seen or witnessed fights at work. I've seen one or two, but the best one I ever heard was an audio recording. When I was in high school, there were two guys. They were like the old legendary guys who did the high school football games on AM radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the way it worked was there were two high schools in my town. We shared a field. So whatever the home game was, they would cover that game.
All right.
So if we were playing away, that game was not going to be broadcast on the radio. They had the radio stuff set up at that field. So whatever the home game was, it was either going to be our team or the other team. Time goes on. I'm now working at this radio station. Same when I worked at in high school. I never worked on the high school football games because I was playing football all the time.
Right.
But I get into college, and I start working there again. I'm got a Friday night shift, man. Game's on. I'm like, okay. I said, the high school football on Friday night, because I'm supposed to go in there and kind of monitor that and just start it out. From there, they take over the broadcast.
Right.
I'm like, where's, whatever happened to Jeff? The partner to this guy. And he's like, you didn't hear about this. And I was like, I didn't hear about anything. And he said, they got into a fight. And I'm like, they got into a fight? He's like, yeah, it was pretty bad. And I was like, what kind of fight did they get into? What was the argument about? And he's like, you want to listen to it?
Oh, no. Oh,
and I was like, sure, man. I was like, what? And on a cart in the boss's desk, he comes in and plays the audio from my high school against another team where Jeff and the play-by-play guy, they just start throwing down.
What happened? Now, what led up to this? Can you hear, like, I slept with your wife last night?
Well, they've been doing it for years. There's probably a lot that led
I
up
don't know what the dust-up was, but all I know is that it was at least 10 to 15 F-bombs. There were punches thrown.
And this was a broadcast.
You got, mother.
Right.
I mean, and you hear the microphones hit the floor. You hear the table get turned over. You hear people come in and try to break up the fight.
That is awesome.
Yeah. You hear someone, at the very end of it, you hear someone go like, we need to go to commercial break.
Oh, that's
we need to go to commercial break. We need to go to commercial break. And it stops. I mean, this is like 3 minutes of absolute insanity in this booth with two old dudes going at it, and punches are thrown, and you can hear stuff getting turned over, and muffled microphones. Like, you hear like every single thing, and no idea what's going on. You're just like, but if you knew these two guys, they were like in their 70s, like mid-70s. So whatever it was, they got them all pissed off. But either way, I don't think they fired the other guy. I think he just refused to work with him, his partner, ever again.
That's fair.
So they just kind of called it a day. The play-by-play guy, he stayed and kept doing his thing, but Jeff, he was out.
I don't know. It's like a grown up, but I definitely got in a fight with one of the other guys at the liquor store. But we were all like 19 to 25.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Our question, I can't believe an argument about blank led to a physical confrontation. 206-803.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth. For a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Fly Condor Airlines non-stop to Frankfurt and connect effortlessly to most European destinations. Relax and start your vacation in comfort. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today and book your next adventure.
Bosch's innovative power tools make you feel like a Bosch. Like when you pile drive screws and bolts with the 2-in-1 impact driver, you'll feel like
Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah.
Or when you powerfully blast through concrete with the Bulldog rotary hammer, you'll feel
Like I have the power!
And when you make buttery smooth cuts with the Glide Miter saw, you'll feel
Scoobity-bee-bop smooth, baby.
What he said. With expertly engineered power tools, the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
Look around. What do you see? Cars, lots of them. And guess what? They're probably on AutoTrader. Whether you're into timeless classics or the latest trends. Did somebody say solar-powered, eco-friendly, vegan leather-wrapped, aromatherapy-scented, disco ball-equipped self-driving car? If you see it on the road, you can likely find it on AutoTrader. Big cars, small cars, blue cars, new cars and used cars, electric cars. And one day, maybe even flying cars. With millions of options to choose from, buying a car becomes a whole lot easier. See it, find it. AutoTrader.
We rock.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Pinky's Plumbing Studio, you're in the men's room. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK.
Coming up at 4:30, we will be joined by Taryn Daly and Steve Mix from the Daily Mix Morning Show. We'll sit and spin. And today we get into the guilty pleasure world of the 90s.
All right.
With 10 guilty pleasure songs from the decade known as the 90s. Although there's a twist because Mike put the songs in backwards.
Yeah, baby. And he says he did it on purpose.
So to make it harder for us to figure out what these tunes are.
Right.
Make it with Sit and Spin. Our question, talking about arguments that led to physical confrontation, whether they were dumb, stupid, or family-driven. 206-803-ROCK. Go to Las Vegas. A Las Vegas cake shop employee was attacked by a customer over a disagreement involving a custom cake topper.
Okay.
The employee, who asked to remain anonymous, said it happened back in March while she was working alone at an area cake shop. She said the customer became upset after seeing the size of the custom cake topper that she had ordered.
It was too big, too small?
She came in, ordered it previously.
Right.
It showed up. They put it on top of the cake. She said it was too big.
Okay.
The woman at the cake shop said, I didn't order this. You did. This is what you wanted. An argument ensued. She had her dog with her and her daughter, and I told her that there were no pets allowed in the shop, and she was visibly upset. Now, according to the cake shop worker, the customer became increasingly agitated over the size of the cake topper and wouldn't leave it alone. Moments later, the two ended up on the ground, and surveillance video from the store shows the customer and the employee violently fighting while the woman's daughter and dog just look on. I remember just hearing her daughter scream, and as I was getting punched, I told her, you're doing this in front of your kid. And that's when she yelled out, it's okay. The employee said she suffered a bump on her head and whiplash. She missed several days of work, went to the hospital, diagnosed with a neck strain and a hematoma. The employee did file a police report, and she is pressing charges against the customer. However, Las Vegas police, they have not been able to find the customer.
Okay.
She put a down payment on the cake with cash. The employee, she left the first name. That was it. They know the name of who the cake was for.
That's all the clues.
That's all they know. The employee has since left the cake shop, saying she no longer feels safe working at the store. But perhaps the most painful blow, she said, is the woman who attacked her is still on the lam, so to speak. Justice would be for her to be held accountable for what she did. Jail time, I don't know, fees. I mean, I missed 3 days of work. It's just not okay. And she left without her topper that she came in for and the one that she complained about. All right, question. I cannot believe an argument about blank led to a physical confrontation. 206-803-ROCK.
Do they say what the cake topper was?
They do not.
They do not. It was just too big,
yes.
Whatever the case was. Here's one from the text lines. It says, I was arguing with my 13-year-old sister, and I called her a bitch. Well, she finished the fight by biting a chunk of my 15-year-old forearm and spitting it into the bathtub that I was cleaning. Ooh. She was a 70-pound badass. I still have the scar.
Wow.
Damn.
Okay.
Don't mess with your sister, bro. Hello, Wade. Welcome to the men's room.
Well, hola, bitches.
Hola.
So I told Mike this is the shortest fight I've ever seen, but I'm going to switch it up a little. I'm going to kind of give a backstory because it's kind of the two shortest fights I've ever seen. So it's regarding my stepdad, and he's a Vietnam vet, and not a big guy, like 5'8", but his torso, he's built like a whiskey barrel, right? I mean, just thick. And anyways, when my mom first met him, you know, I didn't have a dad at the time, and he was on his best behavior. You know, they'd been dating like a month. I'm like, oh, this is a really nice guy, you know, cool. He'd be a cool dad, you know, or something like that. And, I mean, a month into it, and we were living in Parkland, and a dog had knocked over our garbage can out in the front yard. And my mom told me to go out there and pick up all the garbage, and I was in, like, 4th grade, and I was out there pissing and moaning and everything, and he heard that. He come out there, and he picked me up, and he threw me into the living room, and then proceeded to kick me through the kitchen and then down the hall into the wall on the end of the hall. And I was like, oh, okay, so I'm not messing around with this guy, right? He's that guy. Like, he's really cool, but, man, don't cross him. And so anyways, fast forward, and I messed around and found out quite a few times growing up, man. It never worked out good for me. And anyhow, we went to a river. I think it was the Green or something, and it was like this park or whatever. And there were a bunch of families there and kids and stuff. And this kid comes hauling through there in like a van or whatever. I mean, like seriously hauling ass, big cloud of dust behind him and everything. And us kids were like, oh, that's cool. Look at that fast van and everything. And my stepdad was like, he just snapped. He's like, no, that is not cool. And so this kid parks his van and starts walking down at the river like everything's all good. And my stepdad just calls him out. And my stepdad's probably about 40 at the time. And this kid is probably about 20. Thinking he's all that, you know, and my stepdad calls him out, and he's like, what are you going to do, old man, and this, that, and the other, and he starts coming at him. And my stepdad, seriously, it was like watching a superhero movie. He didn't punch the guy, but he took both hands, and he shoved him, like, right in the chest. And my stepdad didn't even move 1 inch, and this guy flew back ass over tea kettle. It looked like he got hit by a cannonball. And I knew, I was like, oh, when he started talking to my stepdad, I was like, oh, this is not going to go good for him. You know, I was old enough to know, yeah, this is not going to work out. And then, so the kid gets up, and because it was on sand and stuff, so he thought he was cool. He didn't get hurt, so he tried to come back at him. And my stepdad, because he had pushed him back, like, I don't know, it seemed like 20 feet, because there was like a little ravine or whatever. And my stepdad was like, he had Freddie Flintstone feet. And it was like he was like a rhino. He just started charging this kid, and he had that Vietnam look in his eye. And before he could even get to that kid, he's like, no, it's cool. It's all good. I promise I won't do it again. I mean, he just underestimated the power of Steve Brown.
Steve Brown.
Don't mess with Steve Brown or any of the Browns, his brothers, for that. They're all Vietnam vets, but shortest fight I ever seen.
Yeah, don't mess with a veteran.
Yeah, well, a lot of times you don't find out until after the fact.
Right. And you also find out how badass some of your relatives are that you did not realize that they could be the nicest person in the world to you, but you found out later on that they, you know, like my grandfather was a boxer. His brother, who was a twin, was a boxer. Basically, as far as the Montgomery side of the family goes, my Uncle Bill has been in more fights than any person that I know. He has been kicked downstairs at a bar. He has been a bouncer and been beaten up multiple times.
Sure.
Typically on the backside of an ass whipping more so than beating someone up. But I never did see my uncle very often where he didn't look like it was just what they did. They just got, you know, they get drunk, they get in a fight. And it wasn't that big of a deal.
I mean, my cousin Tim, right? So Uncle Tim's oldest. When he was born, my dad and his 3 brothers got in a bar fight.
And wouldn't you say somebody called one of them like Shorty or Little Man or something?
Yeah, it was like Shorty or Little Man, or it was something that really kind of irked them.
Clearly.
And then they, you know, of course, chirped him back. And then there was 4 of them. So they had the dude was bigger. They tell the story much better, right? But like basically it ends up with like one of them's on his back, the other one's punching him in the front, and like spills into the street. And then they went to this bar, I guess, enough that somebody called the bar and was like, "Hey, your kid's being boring," so they left.
Okay.
Hey man, I hate to break up the fight.
Wow.
Kids being bored. I'll be right there.
I mean, I have 100 of those in my family. I don't know that anybody in my family is a good fighter,
but they'll fight.
Yeah.
All right.
They'll jump in with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Thinking about, I mean, my dad's a tough dude, but otherwise.
But you've never seen your dad in a fight. I've never seen my dad in a fight.
I've never seen him in a fight, but I've seen him like recently after, if you know what I mean. You would not know from him because he's always just whistling. It is what it is, but other adults will look a little shell-shocked and you're like, what happened? And because I was a kid, they wouldn't give you the full story. but I knew my father well enough that as soon as I got through the setup, and then so-and-so said, I'm like, okay, then I know how this ended, without a doubt.
I cannot believe an argument about blank led to a physical confrontation. 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jacob. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, Walker. Hola.
Hola.
Hey, so I was a security guard back in 2020 at a hotel called the Executive Inn in Seattle. It was over by the Space Needle. It's not there anymore. It's shut down because, COVID. But we had this lady who dropped her keys down her elevator shaft and proceeded to blame us for stealing them. And I was like, no, we can call Otis in the morning, but they're open at 6. Are you staying here? She just proceeded to threaten me and the night auditor. So I walked her to the door and said, you can leave right now or you can go to your room. She proceeded to grab a lamp that was bolted to a glass table and try to hit me on the head with it, but it just tipped over and shattered everywhere. So I laughed at her and she screamed at both of us, went out, started hitting cars in the parking lot. We called the cops. It was just a hectic time.
Did you know she was crazy before that moment?
The moment she threatened to kill us and just, not relax over just keys falling in an elevator shaft, at 4 in the morning, go to bed. We'll get them then.
Yeah. Did she know that she had dropped them down the elevator shaft?
She was the one screaming at the night auditor. I was just outside doing an exterior patrol when she was just losing her bananas.
Okay.
Was she drunk?
I think she was just a loon, to be honest.
Oh, so just crazy.
She did not realize that she dropped the keys down there?
No, but hey, I got one more awesome confrontation about a guy who came down wearing no pants, no underwear. He was on drugs for a fact. He needed his key to his room. We gave him his key, followed him upstairs, and then after we followed him upstairs, he proceeded to take paintings off the walls, hit the walls. I brought him to his room, and I calmed him down. I was so calm. I was like, hey, man, we can watch the Rachel Ray videos on YouTube. Have you ever seen those? They're amazing. And he calmed down, but when he was chill and he got his pants back on and then the cops came, he was all calm, but the cops, they didn't handle him very well. That they're like, all right, security, you're good, you can go. And then they got really angry at the guy, and then he started losing his, bananas again. So I just feel like, the lack of, helping this gentleman when he's in this fritzy, I'm on drugs state. I thought I did a pretty good job keeping him calm, eating Doritos and watching Rachel Ray videos. But the moment those cops came, he lost his bananas again.
All right, so maybe Rachel Ray and Doritos is the way to go with this particular guy.
It worked. I figured if I threw him off and was because I've been stoned before, I've been too high. Let's just watch a video of some lady glazing a steak. It's pretty cool, huh? Nothing to keep you stationed.
I would think he's got to be on something else besides weed, though.
Oh, for sure. Either way, man.
His room smell like hospital supplies. Anyways, thanks for the chat, guys.
Yeah, no, right on, man.
Oh, well, he's probably smoking meth in there.
Rachel Ray videos of Doritos. Look, I would not have thought of that, but obviously it worked.
Well, anywhere you work, that's what we always talk about. There's nothing 7-Eleven does. They're just open. Right, same thing. If you're working the desk or security at a hotel, hotels are just 24 hours.
Yeah. Late night. No one good comes in late night, even if it's someone staying at the hotel.
Well, also, even if you have a guest room and they're staying at your home, eventually, no matter what time it is in the middle of the night, they're going to make their way to the kitchen, living room, bathroom,
something,
the general area, and that's the same with a hotel. You can be in your room, but typically you'll wander down, maybe get something to drink out of the common area, get a bag of chips, go outside, smoke a cigarette. So.
Yeah, as a smoker, that's definitely.
Yeah. Well, and Thrill's right. There is, you're always going to have people that get caught in traffic and show up late. But for the most part, right, if you're rolling back, and look, I've done it, right? I've been in towns and Ubered back. But by the time I'm rolling back in at 12:31, I haven't been up to great stuff. I've been sitting at a bar.
Yeah, I'm in bad shape.
I cannot believe an argument about blank led to a physical confrontation. 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Gabe. Welcome to the men's room.
Holy smokes, you guys. I just called in because I heard this on the radio. It's I've never called in before. I've listened to you guys for years, but thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, man. Thanks for calling, brother.
All right, so here's what's going on. I'm 46, right? This was when I was a kid. I was probably 10 or 12. I grew up in Auburn next to Green River Community College. They had a couple ball fields over there. And backed up against the ball fields was the neighborhood I lived in, and then the other neighborhood called Lee Hill Homes. It was like a low-income neighborhood with families up there, right? And we didn't mess around with those kids because they were dangerous, right? So there's a team, there's like a couple coaches, and a bunch of kids practicing ball out on the ball fields. And me and my friends, we roll down there. We're just kind of watching. And there's some kids from the neighborhood, the bad neighborhood, Lee Hill Homes, right? And we could pick these kids out, no problem. It's like you can see them and like, yeah, those are kids from that bad neighborhood, right? So anyway, these kids are using some pretty colorful language, right? So the coach is like, hey, guys, can you guys mellow out a little bit, tone the language down? And so the kid starts lipping off to the coach, right? And so it's like, we better stick around and see what washes out. So anyway, the kid's getting lippy with the coach. Coach walks up to this kid and does like a leg sweep on this kid and like leg sweeps this kid and tosses him on the ground, right? So we're like, holy smokes. Even as a kid, we're like, that's not cool, like some older dude messing around, with the youth, right? So anyway, the kid bails out with a couple of his buddies, and we're just kind of kicking it at the ball field. Next thing you know, you hear this Harley coming from the neighborhood towards us.
Uh-oh.
And the guy's rolling, and he's rolling. I mean, he's, typical Harley rider, right? He's just on the red line, just pinging the valves on the thing or whatever. So Harley comes rolling in, and I'm assuming kid's dad. And the other kids are like, behind him, they're pointing. It's like, that's the guy right there. And the kid's dad goes down on the ball field in front of all the other kids and clocks the coach right in the face and drops him. And we were just like, I can't believe this is happening. Like,
right. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the thing is, like, don't mess with other people's kids. Like a leg sweep, totally uncalled for, right? But I think the coach probably didn't do a leg sweep on any other kid the rest of his life. I'm sure
probably not.
No. Jesus Christ.
But so there's my story. But
okay.
This is great. I'm glad I made it in so quickly.
We got some leg sweep stories today, man.
That's two.
I know, two. That is not what I was expecting.
I can't believe an argument about blank led to a physical confrontation. 206-803-ROCK.
And they both ended badly and shouldn't have been done.
Yes. Hello, Zach. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitch, hola.
Hola.
So mine. So I was deployed to Afghanistan in 2012, all of 2012, and during the summer it gets to like $120, $125 in the middle of the day. And the fob I was on, we only had porta potties. That was the only way we could use the bathroom unless you wanted to pull trow outside. And for some reason, me and a friend who was in my section just started bitching about how hot the porta potties were. And for some reason, we wanted to be the one to say it was the hottest. And it ended up with us getting into a fist fight inside like the one tent we had that had AC.
Wait a minute. You got into a fight about which porta potty was the hottest.
No. So yes and no, in the sense that it was like I've been in the porta potty that was the hottest. No, when I had to use the bathroom, it was the hottest. It makes no sense. But when you're stuck around 9 other dudes for 10 straight months,
and you're that
hot, 120 degrees. Yeah, it's 120 outside. Mind you, 4 years later, I was the best man at this guy's wedding.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, but look, man, I get the situation. If it's that hot, consider the stress of the job, and I'm with the same dudes, like, I'd get in a fight because you're awake.
Oh, yeah. And it didn't go well for him. That's not a brag. I'm 6'7" and 270 pounds.
Jesus Christ, dude. How do you fit into a porta potty at 6'7"?
You tuck the knees.
All right.
You tuck your head down a little bit and you pray.
What do you do? What did you do in the military? Just badass?
I was artillery. I was artillery, so we did a mixture of fire and shells downrange, but we were also trained to go outside the fob and go on like mounted patrols and dismounted when needed.
I can't believe you just didn't stand up and wave your finger at the guys. You're like, hey, don't shoot us.
6'7", I wouldn't
kill
stand.
you.
If I was on patrol, I would stand up. Period.
No.
To Ted's point, my sergeant tried to put me in the gunner's hatch on one of these, and my first sergeant stopped us as we rolled out and was like, "Get him out of that, mofo and hatch. His head is going to be gone within an hour of you guys being outside.
I was going to say, you're like a clay pigeon at that point, man.
Right.
Damn.
And I got a big head, too, so it was not a hard target.
So
to
you're
shoot.
6'7" with a big head.
Yep.
Wow.
Pretty much my life.
Thank God that sergeant watching roll out. I mean, like a guy 6'7".
You're trying to get the man
right,
killed?
and then you put it right, and he's already taller. He's in the Humvee. Like, gracious.
I can't believe an argument about blank led to a physical confrontation. 206-803.
I don't know if you could be too big for the military. That guy was
6'7", yeah.
Tall. Like, I'm glad he was in artillery. Like, just load up these big weapons.
Yeah, for real. Hello, JJ. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going?
Hola.
So, this wasn't a fight, but it was physical. I was hanging out with my friends at school late at night and got in a fight about whether or not this window was plastic or glass, and I was insisting it was plastic, and
wow.
Once again, bedroom colors, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio.
You know you can't say
Sucker,
it.
mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now, back to the program.
Try again real quick.
No
Jesus,
F-bombs.
You can't say the F word.
yes, I realize that now.
Yes. Okay, so.
Anyways, punched the window. It was glass. It shattered and cut the crud out of my hand. And, so
You lost a bet.
disqualification for over a stupid thing, and I was obviously wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't mess with glass. I learned that, man.
Steve Mix, Terry Daly coming up from the Daily Mix Morning Show. We're going to sit and spin. We've got 10 guilty pleasure songs from the 90s. That's on the way at 4:30. And your emails coming up next in the men's room at KISW.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth for a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation. Trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you, committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today. And live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With non-stop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several European cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation and make it even more memorable by offering comfortable and spacious cabins where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Bosch's innovative power tools make you feel like a Bosch. Like when you pile drive screws and bolts with the 2-in-1 impact driver, you'll feel like
Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah.
Or when you powerfully blast through concrete with the Bulldog rotary hammer, you'll feel
like I have the power.
And when you make buttery smooth cuts with the Glide Miter saw, you'll feel
Scoobity-bee-bop smooth, baby.
What he said. With expertly engineered power tools, the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
Auto insurance rates are on the rise, which is why you should call Vern Fonk Insurance. Vern Fonk could save you up to 20% on your auto insurance. The pros at Vern Fonk will do all the work, comparing different plans to find you the best options. And they can insure you over the phone. One call to Vern Fonk could save you up to 20%. Call 206-408-5094. 206-408-5094.
Remember to honk when you drive by Vern Fonk.
Restrictions apply based on a Q3 2023 study of Vern Fonk insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number 1070622.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With nonstop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several European cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation and make it even more memorable by offering comfortable and spacious cabins where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth for a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation. Trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you, committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
All right, it's been 20 years for the Men's Room on the Rock here in Seattle, and time to celebrate with our brand new 20th anniversary lager from Black Raven Brewing. As always, a portion of net proceeds from the beer go to our 3 Fisher House locations. That's where military and veteran families can stay free of charge while a loved one is in the hospital. The Men's Room 20th anniversary lager available in stores and bars now, as we say cheers to 20 years. You are listening to the Men's Room.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Fly Condor Airlines nonstop to Frankfurt and connect effortlessly to most European destinations. Relax and start your vacation in comfort. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today and book your next adventure.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth for a healthier heart for a healthier you. Smile Generation trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Our Daily and Steve Miggs on the way from the Daily Miggs Morning Show. We will sit and spin. We've got 10 guilty pleasure songs from the 90s coming up. But first, time for a few emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Couple from our question about can't believe you got into an argument about blank and leading to a physical confrontation. Dinosaurs, I was in kindergarten, dealing with 2 things going on at the same time in my 6-year-old life: the death of my grandpa and my parents' divorce. Now, my mother did not allow my older sister and I to go to my paternal grandpa's funeral, so I decided to wear his fishing hat to school. The teacher noticed my hat and tried to take it away, accusing me of stealing school property from the dress-up station in the classroom. She refused to listen when I told her that the hat was mine, gifted to me by my grandpa before his death. When she made another attempt to yank it off my head, I lost it and punched her in the face. Just like that. Ended up being sent to the principal's office after receiving confirmation from my parents about my grandma via phone call. My kindergarten teacher felt like crap. That from Lydia. That seems pretty aggressive as a 5-year-old to punch someone and as an adult in the face.
Yeah, but I think if you feel threatened, I think it's just a reaction.
Yep. Macholos, when I was 11, hanging out with my younger brother and his friend. Had to keep an eye on him because he was I was the older brother, even though he was only a year younger than me. Him and his friends were making mom jokes to each other, and my brother said something about, "Your mom is so fat, when she jumped in the ocean, the whale started singing 'We Are Family,' or some childish BS like that." Well, his
I just haven't heard that one.
His friend states that he made that one up. My brother starts arguing and says that it was, in fact, him who made it up. Next thing I know, they're absolutely beating the hell out of each other. My brother ends up with a broken nose, and my friend's eye is swollen shut and bleeding super bad out of his forehead. I still give him crap for it to this day because it was hilarious. Keep on rocking, guys. That from Nathan. All right, let's move on to the birthdays brought to you by our friends at Men's Room Roasted Red Salsa from San Juan Salsa Company.
Do it responsibly.
Hello, naked lady.
He's on it.
Yes. Today is my coworker Cody's 24th birthday. When he's not playing tug of war with Cyclops, he can be found drifting his Miata around Evergreen Speedway. Could he please get your girl and your Johnson? Your penis is too small, and maybe a couple dad jokes for Miles. Thanks, guys, and rock on. That from Chris. In
your girl and your Johnson.
Dad jokes. Why do women stand with their hands on their hips? Why do women stand with their hands on their hips?
I don't know why.
Because their pants don't have pockets, Dad. What do you call a man with no body and no nose? No body.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
No, you call him dead.
Oh, dang.
And finally, two Irishmen walk out of a bar. Yep, thank you. Holy amigos and Wikipedia deceased thrill. I checked Wikipedia. You're not deceased.
Not anymore. I was for a while.
All right. Shout out to Missy, a.k.a. Soldier Girl, on her birthday today. Since it's her lifetime goal of trying things she shouldn't, can she have Coke Ted give her advice about his first cocaine experience and how that worked out, along with how coke nails should be used? Maybe Scottish Mike Hawk enlightening us about his time with Coke Ted. See you all at the next event. It was great seeing the new originals back together again. Thanks, guys. That from Bacon.
You want to know my first time Coke Ted got involved? I'll tell you, it's pretty simple. It's at a party. Everybody's there. People are hanging out. One super hot chick says, hey, you want to do some Coke? Want to go to the bathroom? I went in there. Next thing I know, I was in there all night with 3 other dudes bitching about stuff. Felt great, though.
I didn't partake with the Coke Ted, but the man stays up until 5 o'clock in the morning and then he just does another line. Meanwhile, I just slammed down a beer and a whiskey, call it good. But bloody hell, he gets into it, that man.
You ever been out with the Coke people?
Sure.
When you're drinking and stuff, and they keep going in there using what I would call a performance-enhancing drug. And it's like, you not making it? No. Like, man, you passed out. Like, yeah, I passed out. It was 2 a.m. We've been drinking for hours.
Right.
Not me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I had a buddy, I swear to God, he was like stumbling in a bar. They go in the bathroom, he comes out, and he's like, let's rock.
Right.
So you got to be kidding me.
That was amazing. Right back to normal. Guys, today's my husband Kramer's 36th trip around the sun. I'd love to give him a shout out for being the best husband and father we could ask for. Here's to another great year, Head. Coach, here's to another great year, Head. I guess his name is Head.
Year ahead, maybe.
I guess.
And they just
Here's
forgot
to
that.
another great year ahead. Can we get him some green beans? And Leroy Jenkins and the Dirty Germans talking about the Mile High Club. Thanks a bunch, guys. Have an awesome day. That from Melanie.
Green bean. What? Green bean.
Okay.
Green bean.
Sure.
Green bean.
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, I always enjoy boarding a plane because I always offer to show the air hostesses my own version of the cockpit.
Yeah, it's a Mile High Club. You know, she just has to be a small, petite woman.
Yeah.
Guys, can I get a big 48-year shout out for my wife, Natalia? Can you give her a pat, say, Jack, with her favorite letter? The Dirty Germans telling her that everything is bigger with her reading glasses on. And Coach Ted explaining the 48 is still a long way from 50. Love the show and all you do, guys. That from Carrie.
She wants a D, and she's going to get one.
Yeah, I requires that all the women that I'm with in the bedroom wears reading glasses. Not so much for the focus, but yeah, to make things look bigger.
Yeah, it's also fun to, you know, it's like the Notorious Big said, I make them educated so I can unstick glasses.
Yeah, I was going to, it's also eye protection.
Yeah, come on, man. You're 48. Worried about turning 50? Well, I'll tell you what. Here's the deal.
A lot of things in life you could worry about, but it hasn't even happened yet. You got 2 years to sit around in your 40s and go, I'm only in my 40s. Now when you get to 50, freak out about it. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to wake up one day and just be 50. Chill out.
Chill out.
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
All right, cut up here at 5:08. We will drink and toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Hogg and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, thank you, Miles. New Zealand's Wellington Airport announced that it'll be removing a statue from their facility. A large piece featuring Gandalf the Wizard riding a giant eagle.
I keep hearing about this. Is there any reason they're pulling it down? Just as it run its course?
I think it's just run its course. As much as I do love the franchise and think that it should stay indefinitely, I understand that those movies came out like in the 2000s.
Doesn't
when
matter.
they first started.
But then they
though,
also,
because
they filmed it there.
they did.
Right.
They filmed it there. Also, look, man, the books have been out longer than the movie. What? Mr. Rogers is still in Pittsburgh. What the
And
hell
so is Lego Franco Harris.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only
You
thing
keep
people
it.
bring up is the fact that they saw Lego Franco Harris and Mr.
Right.
Rogers in the Pittsburgh airport.
I promise you, if I left the Wellington, New Zealand airport, I would not talk about New Zealand. I'd be like, dude, there's Gandalf riding a freaking eagle.
It's crazy.
Like,
And if you're old enough to remember, former Seattle Seahawk Franco Harris.
Yeah.
Enshrined in the Pittsburgh airport.
Well, we do have that here, too. Isn't there a wing of our airport that's got Walter Jones standing there somewhere, doesn't it?
Oh,
We've got a statue
not
of
sure.
somebody out there. Maybe I'm wrong.
My favorite part about SeaTac is the fact that they've got the famous people from SeaTac greeting you.
Oh, yes.
So they got a Kenny G announcement. They got a Duff McKagan announcement.
they do.
Guy
Rick
from
Riz.
Ben from Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah.
So all those guys, like, they come on and say, like, welcome to the Seattle airport.
Right.
I think that's cool.
I hear you when I'm taking a dump in
That's
the
right.
airport before my flight.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Duff McKagan. Don't be a douchebag in the airport.
Yeah. Wipe your butt, Mike.
He should just pick some proper
Wash your
names.
hands.
Talking to you, Jeff.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Wash
if they just
your
straight up
hands.
called people out.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Early morning flight, you feel like crap, you're at the airport, there's Duff calling you out.
Right.
You, Mike.
Gary, you don't need another beer. Head to the gate.
4 sugars in that coffee?
4 sugars in that coffee. Oh, God. New research suggests that even in your mid-50s, light exercise can help prevent Alzheimer's.
Yeah, I mean, have they found any research for exercise is bad? I feel like every day we hear, hey, if you do exercise for this, that, and the other, they're like, right, it's beneficial.
Right. When have they stopped talking about,
Don't
hey, you know what?
exercise.
Don't exercise. Unless you are injured, go ahead, just do some light exercise from time to time.
Sleep, nutrition, exercise. These are not updates.
And it's something as small as, just getting your 10,000 steps every day. Exactly. You know what? That too. That's
Well,
exercise.
you know, they say
Masturbate while getting your 10,000 steps.
They say 10 minutes of walking is
Yes.
enough.
Exactly.
Every day.
Just for heart pumping.
Just for something.
Right. Back in the day, I knew a guy that was well into his 90s, and he looked 90s, but he was
Sure.
still moving great, like beyond 90. And his thing was, I just walk. That's
Yeah.
literally all it is. The death can't catch up if I keep walking. It was his philosophy.
Death is very slow.
He is a very slow dude. I mean, he's just got a robe and he's just hovering everywhere. It's like the snail. There's new evidence to suggest that a low-carb diet could be a replacement for medication for type 2 diabetes.
Here we go again,
Come
Steve.
on. Jeez. We know. I'm going to throw it in there. Smoking might lead to lung cancer.
What they're saying is like a mild
Drinking,
form
not
of type
good
2.
for you.
Come on.
Fast food, probably not the best.
For diabetes.
Try a Mediterranean
Right.
diet.
Because they saw that a low-carb diet could help actually repair the pancreas a little bit. It could recover if it was, an early enough stage of type 2. But-
Right, well, it just makes sense, too, is all that's going to break down into sugars.
Exactly.
Yogurt, gut health.
Right.
Well, what is it, when they tell you that you're pre-diabetic? What's the thing that they tell you to do? Start eating right. Exercise a little bit more.
Has your doctor ever said, look, whatever you do, start eating wrong?
Right. It was the dumbest thing to me always when I was growing up. You have to love yourself before you can start losing weight and getting in shape. It's like, okay, I love me. Let's go. No, loving yourself means putting what's right into your body and helping it by exercise.
I love me.
Look,
Let's go.
Right, Mike, if someone says that you have a disease, right? You go to the doctor and you don't know what's wrong with you, and the doctor says, we checked your blood, you got this, blah, right?
Yeah.
You go, oh, man, that's heavy duty. But if you knew you could eat your way into a disease,
Oh, God.
wouldn't you do everything you could not to do that?
Correct.
Do what I'm saying? Is
Yes.
like it would be like one of those journalists who come along and say, like, I'm going to write a book about something, so I'm going to eat myself into diabetes.
Right.
And then I'm going to figure my way out.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to eat my way into a disease, you see. And then I'm going to diet and lose the weight.
There's a new list of the toughest jobs in America.
Toughest.
Yeah.
What makes it tough?
I have no idea, Ted. I just know what the list has.
I assume working fast food because you might be
no
assaulted
kidding.
by anyone.
You're on the front lines out there.
Right.
Number 3, doctors. They say have it a little bit tough out there.
All right, so not dangerous, but tough.
Correct.
All right.
Well, doctor's got to be tough because if you mess up on surgery or something, or you don't diagnose somebody with something.
Exactly.
Would you rather be a surgeon or a regular doctor? Because I figure, like, if you're a surgeon and someone dies on the table, say, hey, we told you the risk.
Well, but
right? I
typically,
mean, that's your out.
yeah, but typically it's not the doctor, it's the anesthesiologist.
Right.
So I think I'd rather be a surgeon because a surgeon is putting together that piece of IKEA furniture or fixing it. Where the doctor just goes, I think your table needs a new leg. All right. But the surgeon goes in there and actually puts a leg on the table. I think it'd just be a better sense.
Well, and they get their room. It's all sanitary. They get to listen to their music while they're on there. They're running the show. Like, I think surgeon would be better.
Also, surgeons get in there like 4 o'clock in the morning. They're done by 8:30.
I'm going to go golf.
They get a real early schedule.
Number 2 is military as far as the toughest jobs in America.
And what is number 1?
Construction.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess that's inherent danger.
Be tough, yeah. I would think dangerous, too. Probably driving an Uber. Like cab driver traditionally was like a dangerous job.
Yeah.
But I guess Uber is maybe not as dangerous because there's no money exchange.
Oh, maybe.
True.
But cab driver, right, that was always a big issue. Those guys had to have money on them.
Professors have found a way to detect AI-written essays from their students. Apparently, humans use more engagement techniques.
And also, you know the students in your class.
Yeah, no kidding.
Billy's an idiot. He did not get right. I mean,
he didn't write that.
That's how most teachers seem to break it down when I was growing up. And you can be a lot more honest and forthright with kids. Like, Billy, I know your parents helped you. No, they didn't help. Like, you've been stupid for 8 months. You can tell me now you understand vocabulary.
Right.
Get out of
Well, and what they were saying is that you're correct. So AI is grammatically correct. They're factually correct throughout the entire thing.
There is your issue.
But it's very textbook. It's I'm talking at you. Whereas the essays from the actual students, the human students, they use a lot more rhetorical questions. They use a lot more parables, a lot more examples. Like
the way people actually talk.
They try to connect with the audience that they're talking to, whereas ChatGPT and AI...
Here's your info.
Here it is, exactly. There's new research into the opposite phenomenon of deja vu. Has anybody ever heard of this one?
This has never happened before.
Where you do something real and then you, dream about it
So
later?
it's called jamais vu, and it's a phenomenon where you see something familiar, but it feels wrong. It feels off. It feels fake. So you're looking at my face, but you're like, was that pimple always there? Was that...
Okay, something kind of subtle like
right,
that.
why is your beard more red than it usually is? That sort of a thing. Like, it feels like it's wrong, like you're dreaming or something like that.
All right.
Which is wild. I don't want to question my
I don't know
reality.
if I've ever gone through that.
I have not even gone through deja vu, so...
You've never had deja vu?
No, sir.
Damn.
I just assume that everything is in its place, and in its place it shall be.
It's not that. I assume everything in its place, but that's why you notice it, because you're like, I swear
I
to
know,
God,
I know
right?
this. I know this.
You don't go, like, looking for it. You just find yourself out of nowhere, right? You're just in this position where you're like, how do I know what Miles
because
is about
I've been
to
in this
say?
place in a dream.
Or something.
And now I'm looking around, I'm like,
Wait a
really here.
minute.
I'm really here now.
May is National Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's time to be aware.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 or more expert-backed methods for self-improvement. Routines matter. In order to make the most out of every day, it all starts the same way. I wake up at 3:45, lie in bed, collecting my thoughts and farting. Then I grab the leash, a young Henry, and off we go. He barks at empty bags cascading down the street. I bag up his offerings, fart a few more times, and now I know the Hershey Highway is open for business. Back inside, Henry enjoys a hearty meal. I grab a cup of coffee and man's other best friend, a couple of cigarettes, because you really want the colon stew all blended up and ready to be served. Then, just like in Apollo 11, splashdown, shower, dress, and I'm ready to take on this hole of a day.
Oh, damn. All right. Thank you, PD. So these are expert-backed methods for self-improvement, how to be a better person, basically. They start by saying, identify your values. Ultimately, what helps make someone a better person is if they feel that they are living in alignment with their values.
Well, sure.
While we all likely have varying ideas about what being a good person means, we can become better people by figuring out what that means for us and then emulating those qualities in our everyday lives.
Much like a serial killer.
Exactly.
I value killing people.
I'm okay with
I
this.
live within this, yeah.
I'm making the world a better place.
Gives me peace at night.
Yes.
I sleep better at night when I kill someone. Practice self-reflection. Once you've identified your values, practice some deep self-reflection to truly reach your full potential. Says a licensed therapist. We can be a better version of ourselves without understanding the gap between who we are right now and where we want to be. In order to do what we need, consistent, rigorous self-examination.
Also, a lot of times it requires money.
Yeah. Have you ever been to any of these counselors?
I've not.
None of them are happy like this.
No?
No. I've been to individual counseling, marital counseling when I was a child. Counseling's great. I'm just saying, like, these people don't practice this stuff.
My life sucks,
They're listening to people's crap all day.
Don't do what I did.
That's a tough day,
honest
man.
to God, man, that's a hard job.
This is one that my wife does that I've never gotten into myself, but they say try journaling. One way to self-reflect is by starting a journaling routine using mindful prompts or by using self-help workbooks. Engaging with mindful journaling can aid in getting to know yourself more intimately.
Does she actually read it, though?
I don't believe so,
Like a lot of people just write stuff that, like anything, it's kind of like when you're in an argument with the wife. You send your response via text, and you see those 3 dots for 15 minutes, but in the end, it says, okay. So sometimes it's good to get something out of it, because clearly what they have typed to you is horrible.
Absolutely.
And it is how they feel, but they also understand you don't need to see that.
Yeah.
Just,
And I think she's gone back to, like, a decade ago or something like that just to see where you're at.
I think some thoughts are best kept to yourself and not on paper as proof.
I used to journal more. I don't anymore. But that's like my funny
for the stop, or
I don't know. I just kind of got out of the habit. But I know a lot of people that swear by it.
all right.
I'll write down notes if I feel like they're good ideas for being creative in the show.
Sure.
But I would never, like, if you dictated me in a car about everything I said about every driver on the road, and then someone read it out loud.
Well, it's not too shady.
But
exactly.
Your journal, nobody journals like in
hey, read this.
driving. Yeah.
They say to change your perspective. Self-improvement is not just about relationships or self-confidence. It's also about developing maturity, finding happiness, and building resilience. Change your perspective, which is a lot harder to do than it is to say.
Of course.
Because that's a mindset that's kind of set on a track, and uprooting that is not exactly the easiest thing. Work on accountability. Work on accountability. While being a good person is relative, a common characteristic associated with being a good person is being able to hold oneself accountable and remain humble. Own up to your crap. At the end of the day, own up to your doggone crap.
People still get mad if you don't care as much as they do.
Yeah.
You did so-and-so. I sure did.
Yes, I did.
I got no problem admitting that. You care more than me.
Right.
I've already checked out of this conversation, but stay mad.
I'm not upset about it.
Yeah,
but I
that's
did
all.
it.
But don't get mad about that. I just don't care.
Practice forgiveness. Along with staying accountable, being able to accept another's apology for a wrong thing done to you can be a powerful tool toward self-improvement.
Well, if it's sincere.
Exactly.
If somebody honestly means that, you're like, I got it, man. It's good.
Yeah, well, all right.
I always say, just don't forget.
Sure.
Right? Yeah. Like, you might forgive someone. Like, cool, we're good. But, like, I'm not agreeing to do that again with you.
Yeah, obviously. Right.
I'm only going to step in mud once.
Correct.
Try new things. This person says, as a therapist, I find that stepping outside of your comfort zone and trying new things can help provide new information and insight.
Okay, see, I don't get that support from my wife. I said, maybe this is Tina.
Yeah. I'm going to try this for a minute.
She's like, I'm not feeling this.
Watch what she does with her tongue.
Yeah, see right there. Whoa! I've never.
Look at that. Did you see that swirl?
Never had that experience.
Ah, damn it. Prioritize your loved ones. Focusing on your family, friends, and loved ones can help you not just in your interpersonal relationships and the way others see you, but in your own happiness overall. What do you know? Take care of the ones that are closest to you.
To me, that just it's like instinctive.
Right.
You know,
This
when
is
I'm
my
hanging
group
out
and
with
I
the
want to
family,
keep this.
right? It's not a conscious effort. You just kind of have their back.
Exactly.
In spite of who they are.
Even
sometimes.
if you don't want to have their back.
Right. When you don't want to.
Man.
That's the whole basis behind it. Is like, I like you as a person overall more than this stupid ass thing that you keep doing.
Right.
It always
I'm
sounds
gonna
like this.
stick
Like,
here.
you know I got you, man. Whatever you do. God, don't do that, though.
Right, just please don't.
I have that cop probably at least once a week with one of the kids. Like, listen, no, I hear you. Don't get upset about it. Your dad's got your back, but can you just not do that? Okay, so I get it.
It's hard to defend.
Yeah. Like that was, I had to tell my son last week. I'm like, look, man, he got in trouble for something, and we're having a quick discussion. I said, look, man, I know your mom's already gotten up in your ass about this, so I'm not going to pile on. but I'm like, you know better than to do this thing. He's like, I know. And I'm like, on a side note, it's actually pretty funny, but you can't do it.
Right.
I was like, I can't lie to you that actually. And the reason I told him that is because I was struggling not to laugh. So I just thought it'd be better if I told him, look, I honestly think that is hilarious, but man, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
But if you're going to do something like that, make sure it is funny.
Expert-backed methods for self-improvement, they say, to improve your communication. Try working on active listening and communication. There are skills that require practice but help contribute overall to a sense of being a good person. By honing these skills, you'll be able to support the people around you and be regarded as a genuine person who cares about those around them.
Active listening.
Ta-da!
Not just waiting for the person to stop so you can say what you already had in your frickin' head.
Exactly. You're staring at their mouth waiting for it to stop moving.
Oh, God. It's like, you're not listening.
You know, there was one, we had an auction workshop with a bunch of auctioneers with the company that I worked for, and they brought in an improv artist.
All right.
And one of the things that they did to help active listening was we played a game where you could only start your sentence with the last letter of the last word of the person in front of you. So it's basically
like the hookup with Ryan Castle.
Right, Ryan does the hookup at noon right here on 99.9 KISW. Basically, it's the same way with your conversation. That way, it forces you to listen to every word that person says before you start what it is that you say.
Yeah, probably good exercise.
Yeah.
Yemen.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike. I'll start with an E on something.
Take a
Go
pause.
ahead.
Oh, there's not a lot of Y words.
No, there's not.
It's a yeah.
And then I'll leave you with this last one. This is the last expert-backed method for self-improvement, and it's going to be very obvious. Miles already said it. Seek therapy.
Yeah.
Sometimes speaking to a professional can be the best way to find and support and clarify your path towards happiness and self-improvement. Visiting with a therapist, personal coach, or someone qualified to give spiritual advice can help arm you with the tools that you need to reach your personal development goals. Ask somebody that knows the brain better than you.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, too, like I say all the time, it just helps to say stuff out loud. For me, anyhow.
Sure, absolutely. Getting it out there.
And there's certain things that you just can't, you're not going to say to other people because people run their mouths.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's a good part about therapy, too. It's like, all right.
Right. It's a journal that actually has somebody on the other end of it. That's not going to do anything with it other than just help you with it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think it's just me. We all have some dark thoughts.
Absolutely.
But you don't want to say them out loud.
No.
Right. But with your therapist, you can be like, honestly, I'm not feeling great about this.
You ever just see that cat walking out there? I just want to skin it.
Or, just like,
That's not
honestly,
unusual.
I don't like this dog.
Right.
But, like, I got him. Like, I guess if I sent him away, I'd be a bad person. But, like, I'm not going to be like, Mike, do you want this dog? I really don't like it.
Police in Utah got into a slow-speed chase with an erratic driver, but you won't believe who was behind the wheel, Miles.
Who was behind the wheel?
Tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve the Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed, and today's shot is brought to you by the fine folks of Black Raven Brewing, proud brewers of the Men's Room IPA and the Men's Room 20th Anniversary Lager. And today we toast 71-year-old Yvette Ferguson of Hollywood, California. Now, Yvette has been in movies since 1994, starting with the classic Jean-Claude Van Damme flick, Time Cop. And by classic, of course, I mean a steaming pile of cinematic feces. However, she most recently brought her talents to the yet-to-be-released movie, Final Destination Bloodlines, where apparently a whole family is being targeted by death. I just saw the commercial. Anyway, the movie itself promises to be stupid, but you know that already. But anyway, Yvette, she's a stunt woman, a 71-year-old stunt woman, and she just set the world record for the oldest person ever to be set on fire.
Oh!
This is an honest-to-God caveat they made.
All right.
They said, oldest person ever to be set on fire on camera. You see, she gets burned to death in the opening scene of the upcoming movie on purpose. And apparently the cast and the crew knew that she was going to break the world record and broke into applause after she was extinguished. But congratulations.
So, on fire on purpose.
They actually put the caveat in. They're like, she broke the record for oldest living person set on fire. Honest to God.
Who wanted to be set
It was like
on
2
fire?
hours later, like, turned out not entirely true. Damn. yeah. They just wanted to clear that up. But that's crazy, man. And I Googled
That's
her.
awesome.
That's a good-looking 71-year-old woman.
All right.
Take my word for it. So to Yvette, congratulations, you crispy freak. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
Let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This now. 206-803-ROCK. Profile This is next.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With non-stop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several European cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation and make it even more memorable by offering comfortable and spacious cabins where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What if comparing car insurance rates was as easy as putting on your favorite podcast? With Progressive, it is. Just visit the Progressive website to quote with all the coverages you want. You'll see Progressive's direct rate, then their tool will provide options from other companies so you can compare. All you need to do is choose the rate and coverage you like. Quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth. For a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Bosch's innovative power tools make you feel like a Bosch. Like when you pile drive screws and bolts with the 2-in-1 impact driver, you'll feel like
Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah.
Or when you powerfully blast through concrete with the Bulldog rotary hammer, you'll feel
like I have the power.
And when you make buttery smooth cuts with the Glide Miter saw, you'll feel
Scoobity-bee-bop smooth, baby.
What he said. With expertly engineered power tools, the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth for a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation. Trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you, committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With nonstop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation by offering comfortable and spacious cabins. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story. Something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Now, I apologize. We had to let our caller go. Our caller is under the age of 18.
What is the, just you pick the category.
You want me to pick the category? You have Bite Me, you have Animalize This, and you have License to Spill. I'm going to go Bite Me.
Bite me.
Eat it. Get yourself an egg and beat it.
All right, one of Japan's biggest restaurant chains is closing its outlets for what they call a deep cleaning after 2 incidents of customers finding, quote, pests in their food. Tsukaya, known for its beef on rice dishes, announced a temporary closure after what a customer found in a bowl of miso. In a statement, the restaurant, of course, apologized for the great inconvenience and concern that it caused, but rumors about the miso incident have been circulating on social media for weeks before Tsukaya finally was forced to confirm that, yes, this thing had been found. However, they do point out it was found before it was eaten. Now, the company has now taken a more drastic measure of closing more restaurants after another pest was found a week later, this time by a customer in a different city. The manager apologized to the customer and gave them a refund, which seems fair. The question is, what was the pest that was found in the miso? Was it a frog? Was it a rat? Was it a roach? Or was it a maggot? So frog, rat, roach, or maggot?
I feel like it's a wild card on this one, but I'm going to go with the frog.
Frog for Mike.
I feel like it has no earthly business being there, and that's why it's on the list.
All right, I got a question. Is miso different than miso soup?
No, it is. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. I mean, you can use it in a sauce. You can make soup. It's just a paste. You add water to it, you get soup. Yeah. But this is in the soup, specifically.
Right, and it's a chain, and it keeps happening at different locations.
So far, yeah. There's been more than 2, but 2 got reported most recently, which took it down.
I'll say maggot.
I'm going with you, Ted, on that one, man. I don't care. If I'm a health inspector, I see a rat, I'm like, get that rat out of here. If I see maggots, I'm like, close the building. It's disgusting. Close the building.
Are flies the only thing that are uglier as a baby?
Oh, man, I don't know. That's just one of those things. If you saw a roach, you'd be like, step on that thing and don't tell anybody.
You're right. Maggots freak people out.
I mean, I'm just like, golly.
I've seen some people that were uglier as babies.
What was in the miso? Was it a frog, a rat, a roach, or a maggot? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to The Men's Room.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedy, celebrity interviews or news, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue. And guess what? Now you can call them on your auto insurance too with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It works just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Get your quote today at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth. For a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Fly Condor Airlines non-stop to Frankfurt and connect effortlessly to most European destinations. Relax and start your vacation in comfort. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today and book your next adventure.
Debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Jump all over them. Categories by me on profile. Let's go to a Japanese restaurant chain. Closed multiple locations for a deep clean after something was found in the miso soup. And then a few weeks later, the same thing was found in a different location in more miso soup. Question is, was it a frog, a rat, a roach, or a maggot?
All right, let us start with Mike Hawk. You went with the frog. You said it has, quote, no earthly business being there. I would agree with that. However,
damn it,
it was not there. D. Ted Smith, Miles Montgomery, both of you agreed, said maggot. For whatever reason, maggots, of all the things listed, are the grossest. No, it was not.
Okay.
That was a straight up rat, man. This was a rat in a bowl of meat. That's why they discovered it before it was eaten. Kind of hard to fit a rat in your mouth and not realize.
Okay.
Well, for you.
Yes, for me.
Now for all TV news all the time, and it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
There's a lot of things that can go on in life, but one thing you can't really, I guess legally you can change it, but generally the name you have.
That's the name you get.
It's the name you have. So this is an interesting list of some celebrities with the same name. Some of them, frankly, did change it, and you'll figure out why they changed it.
Okay.
When they had the same name, right?
So these are two celebrities that were born under the same name, basically. They went through school both being called the same thing.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Some of them just have the same name. Some of them were born with the same name. Some of them kind of changed it.
Okay.
Some of them just kept it. Right? Like Michael B. Jordan.
Right. Just had to be.
Sure.
Obviously, he has the same name as Michael Jordan.
Who the hell is that?
But his father, he's actually named after his father.
So there's a couple Michael Jordans.
Right. So he's just a junior. And then you figure Michael B. Jordan is what? 30-something?
35, maybe.
So Michael Jordan, the basketball player, might not have been Michael Jordan yet.
Right.
When his father probably didn't even think about it of being.
38 years. He was born in 87.
Yes.
Right. So Jordan's not Jordan yet.
Right. Not quite
Right?
yet.
Like he's starting to cook, but he's not the Michael Jordan we know.
But he was named after his dad, so it really had nothing to do with the basketball.
But you still right. Get stuck on the name.
My baseball coach named his kid Jordan Michael Stanley in honor of Michael Jordan, the basketball player. Which I thought was a cool tribute.
Yeah, he said, as for his father, says his father, quote, didn't realize what he was going to be. Basically, he's like, I didn't realize that Michael Jordan was going to be Michael Jordan and put my son through this weirdness for 26 years of his life.
Yeah, there's no way to predict it, man.
Well, and then Jordan became a part of the Screen Actors Guild. Was it just for Space Jam, or did it do any other movies?
Probably Space Jam. I don't know that it's yellow-ass eyes. Maybe cat people.
Michael Jordan, I don't think was in any other movies.
Right. So it's just that one movie that screwed over Michael B. Jordan from keeping the name.
Michael, yeah. Well, I think he would have put the B in there either way just to separate it.
Yeah, fair call.
But Michael Jordan is not the basketball player. It's not the
friendliest.
I would say is by far not the friendliest individual of all time.
Easiest to work with.
I just heard a story the other day of somebody just like another celebrity, and he was just like, no.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like,
Straight
can I get,
shutdown.
Right. Like, can I get a picture with you? The other NBA guys that were there were like, no, you know this dude. Like, he's like a rapper or whatever. And the guy kind of panics and goes, dude, like, I just bought one of your jerseys for like 7 G's. Jeez. And apparently Jordan just looked at him and said, you give me 7 G's, I'll take that picture with you.
Oh.
Dang, wow. Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
I had his basketball hoop when I was a kid. Not
Well,
a nice
I mean, look, trust me, there's plenty of people, right? Especially with athletes. Like, I say this all the time. I wish we didn't know as much as we know about them.
Yes.
Because you know too much. But, right, like, a lot of athletes back in the day, like Ty Cobb's a famous one, like notorious racist, abuser, this
They're
or that.
horrible people, but you keep it close to the vest.
Right. You just don't know. And also, like, at some point, too, like, you could love Michael Jordan for the basketball player he is and still recognize he's an a-hole.
Yeah, that's
That's fact.
Let's see. Michelle Williams, Destiny's Child singer and actress. No. So she's from the singer, and then there's the actress who was in The Flammables, Brokeback Mountain. They've been confused for each other and a bunch of times.
Not by appearance, I guarantee it.
No.
Katy Perry and Kate Hudson. Katy Perry's real name is Catherine Elizabeth Hudson.
Oh.
When her career took off, she took her mother's maiden name, Perry.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense. There's already a Kate Hudson.
Right.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I would change it just because of that, but that's her mother's maiden name, then why not?
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, my mother's maiden name was Cox, so I'd be like, I'm not doing it. And yes, there's Brian Cox and all this kind of thing. Yeah. I mean, if I got into porn, sure, but generally speaking, like, no.
Dude, my mother's maiden name was Movahill.
Movahill? God, that's an ugly name.
Movahill
Sorry,
or
man.
Movahill?
Movahill.
Movahill.
I know, and like
Movahill.
sometimes like certain things you need like your mother's maiden name, like certain court documents. It's like, I have no idea how to spell
What
that.
ethnicity is that?
Irish.
Okay.
Something else in there probably.
Mine was Olsen, but I keep screwing up. Like, is it Owen or Ian? I can't remember.
What is it? Owen?
Olsen.
Olsen.
So I have to keep looking up, and like my aunt's like, "How do you guys spell this last name?" Hang on.
Like Greg Olson.
Exactly.
David Bowie.
Oh, I know this one.
Now, here's what's weird. Everybody calls him David Bowie.
Mm-hmm.
He was born David Jones. He changed his name so he wouldn't be confused with Davy Jones of the Monkees. But the Bowie came from Jim, what I would say, Bowie, in the movie The Alamo. But it's a Bowie knife.
Right, a Bowie knife.
Not Bowie. And there's Bowie, Maryland.
Not Bowie.
Right, there's a building in Austin. And it's funny. I was like, oh, the Bowie. And somebody's like, we call it the
Bowie.
The Bowie.
Right.
And I was like, it's spelled the same way.
Okay, so Ted, I just think it's ironic the fact that this guy is probably Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. A lot of people consider David Bowie one of the greatest songwriters, one of the greatest artists.
Yeah.
They put him up there with Dylan. Not that high, but he's right there. And the fact that he had to change his name because of the Monkees on TV, which was a made-up band.
Yeah.
Like where two people could play an instrument in that band is just, to me, is just mind-numbing. Also, there was a Davy Jones that was in the Rolling Stones.
Oh.
So, but he wasn't.
That's what I thought.
He drowned, so.
Randy Jackson from American Idol. People have him confused.
Oh, yeah.
Because they knew Randy Jackson as Michael Jackson's brother, a member of the Jackson 5. Unless they say here, but the Jackson 5, Randy Jackson, he never toured with Journey or played slap bass on Blue Oyster Cult's Shooting Shark. Michael Keaton, Michael Douglas. This is kind of like the Bowie Jones situation. Keaton was actually born Michael Douglas. But since there's already a Michael Douglas in the Screen Actors Guild, he had to pick a new name when he joined. Right? That's kind of insane, right?
And it's kind of funny because, like Kirk Douglas, Michael Douglas's father, that's not his real name. His real name, it's kind of long and very ethnic. Right?
Estevez.
Emilio
Estevez.
the Sheen.
He wasn't
that's
Estevez.
Oh, that's Sheen.
Sheen.
It was something up, but he changed his name in Hollywood back in the day. So he became Kirk Douglas. Then Michael Douglas basically takes his dad's fake stage name, last name, which messes with the guy who's actually Michael Douglas and has to change his name.
Let's see. Actor Steve McQueen and director Steve McQueen. The director, who's British and black, was actually named Steven after a character on a TV show. But he was born in 1969. The other Steve's movie, Bullet, came out in 1969. So they had to switch that name. And then the last one on the list, what else was on here? Katy Perry, David Bowie. Oh, Albert Brooks was born Albert Einstein.
What?
He's named after famous.
way.
No.
He was named after the physicist. Claims his parents would never tell him why. So obviously he had to change his name.
Wait a minute. You name your kid Albert Einstein, but you're not going to tell your kid why. Like, I know I'm named after Albert Einstein. I'm the other goddamn Albert Einstein.
Right.
At least tell me why.
It's like naming you Oprah Winfrey. Like, who am I named after?
Why did you name me Oprah Winfrey? Never tell.
I think it's the first and last name stuff. Because I know a lot of people in this area that would name a kid like Peyton.
Sure.
After like Gary Payton, right? Mm-hmm. Or you'd name a kid, I don't know, Ken, after Ken Griffey Jr. But if your last name is already Griffey, right. I don't know that I would give him the exact name.
No. Name him Lynn. I'm Lynn Griffey.
Len Griffey.
Right, like Smith.
Len Griffey.
Smith is common enough that if I had a son, I could name him Will.
Would you name him Stephen A?
That would be awkward.
How about Stephen B? Stephen B. Smith. Like Michael B. Jordan. You know.
Well, I told you, my cousin Kelly, she married a guy. His last name is Sharp. She is pregnant. They're having a daughter, and
come on.
We kept logging. You should name the kid Shannon.
Yeah, male or female.
Yeah, well, she is a female.
Or Sterling.
So this could be a girl.
Yeah, Sterling works too.
For a girl?
I mean,
on the main stage, Sterling.
Yeah. I feel like
Put that with
Jesus
it, Miles.
Christ, man.
Come on.
well, Shannon, Sterling.
I think Shannon's more of a girl. I mean, in Irish settings, Shannon's not that odd,
Sure.
but it is odd to me that Shannon Sharp is Shannon Sharp.
Oh, good man.
I shouldn't say that. That's racist. Maybe he's Irish descent.
Donovan McNabb.
Troy
Tell me-
O'Leary.
Right. I mean, you're like, say what?
Donovan McNabb. That is the very.
That's as Irish as it gets as the brother with cornrows. He's got the Irish name. Okay.
I don't think. Mike, did you ever watch Blue's Clues?
Oh, yeah. Loved Blue's Clues.
All right, I did not watch it. But Steve Burns, he was the original guys on Blue's Clues. So there was rumors that he had died forever, right? Either suicide or an overdose.
Yeah, because he
Attacked
got
by
kind
a
of dark
dog.
there for a while.
Right, he left the show. He says it was devastating. One of the most common things people would say to me was, I thought you were dead. So then he kind of went into a depression. Quote, I built a house in Brooklyn and I never left it. I call it the gray of my life. It was about 10 years where I did nothing but like drink a couple bottles of wine every night alone, watch Mythbusters, and eat pad thai.
Well, and when you think about it, he ran a kids show. So when it runs its course and he's no longer with the kids show,
what are you going to go do? So he disappears off the planet, so everybody thinks that he just got depressed and took himself out.
Yeah. Well, and then he even says here, he's like, look, right, he's sitting around drinking every night, eating pad thai every day. He said he gained 50 pounds. Damn. Was, quote, completely unrecognizable, even to himself. Everyone thought I was dead, and eventually I started playing along. The strategy was, well, maybe I am. Eventually, Steve Burns got out of there after taking some advice from Blue's Clues.
All right.
The old show he was on.
We just got a letter. Was he listening to himself through reruns?
No, he's just saying, like, look, every day on Blue's Clues, I would sit in a chair and look at someone in the eye, and they would ask, will you help me? And it wasn't until I did that in my own life that the real change happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's come a full circle, isn't it?
Right. The show, that was always how it was part of the show. So then finally, like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people that go through that, right? You could sit there and say, screw it, I'll just stay. And he had enough money. But then eventually, right, he just finally was like, all right, I don't want to die just alone drinking wine and eating pad thai.
Well, then he showed back up on, I think, TikTok during like the pandemic and whatnot, when everybody's just feeling down on themselves, especially people in my generation. And all of a sudden, his face comes on back. He's like, hey, how have you guys been? Like, oh my God, Steve, it's awful out here. Like, he healed a lot of children out there when he came back, dude. It was great.
Yeah. So, I mean, good for him. And honestly, good for him for finally, after 10 years, just be like, all right, I need help.
And apparently, being the guy on Blue's Clues gets the guy mega ass.
Well, I can believe that now.
he apparently pulls it when he goes out to the bar. You bet.
Well, think about it, man.
You bet.
Chicks, oh, I grew up with you. Like, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
And he was on a massive show.
It was huge.
Even if it's women his age that didn't watch the show, I'm sure there's a lot of single moms that were like, yo, you helped me out a lot in the morning. You know what I mean?
Help me out in the morning there, baby.
Yeah. Well, Mike, you have a little niece or nephew. Like, you ever try to cook breakfast when there's like people running in and out of the goddamn kitchen?
Exactly. Go watch Miss Rachel. Go watch Blippi. Get out of here.
I don't know Miss Rachel. I saw my boy Drewski made like a skit that was kind of poking fun at it. People got real upset.
Who is Miss Rachel? What's her deal?
She's the new Steve from Blue's Clues. She's on YouTube. She does a lot of great developmental videos and stuff like that.
She sounds like the teacher that beat you with a ruler.
My nephew is in love with her, and apparently there's a lot of dudes out there that are in love with her. They want some Miss
Google
Rachel,
Miss
too.
Rachel.
I mean, she looks like she runs a kid show. However, there's a lot of people like, what does Miss Rachel do when she's not making videos?
Jesus Christ, people.
And then apparently my sister went to school with Blippi. Apparently, he was actually over at Central Washington University, and she made friends with this dude who had a great idea for a kid's show on YouTube, and bam, now all of a sudden he's Blippi.
I don't know if I know Blippi.
Terrence Kid Barrett really got into Blippi there for a while.
All right.
So did the nephew. He's got like construction rig videos and stuff like that like playing with the big
I don't know
toys.
about that.
Yeah.
Well, if there was something you liked as a kid, you still like it. Good news. 3 new episodes of Andor on Disney Plus tonight.
All right.
And then watch Jimmy Fallon tonight. I know Miles and I like him. Nate Bargatze on
Awesome.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Bear breaks into an ice cream parlor, and good news, we now know what their favorite flavor is. Hey, do you remember that 7-year-old story from yesterday where he drove to? Good news today, pop quiz. To Kentucky, where 7-year-olds are back in the news, and the story does suck. In Pennsylvania, a story of a rescued family involving a duck. And a man is arrested in the St. Louis airport for attempting to fly naked. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
Our top story, we go to Utah for an unconventional driver. Police got a call at 8 in the morning about an erratic driver on the road, and they quickly caught up with the vehicle and maintained slow speeds behind them after hearing a small detail about the driver. Eventually, the car came to a stop thanks to a parking strip, and officers moved in to confirm suspicions that the driver was 7 years old.
Oh.
What's more is that he had his 5-year-old sister in the backseat with him, as the two were going to McDonald's with cash in hand to grab themselves some delicious breakfast for that morning. The children in the vehicle were brought back home safely, and the mother is beyond astonished about the story and infuriated, informing officers that she'll be making more community service for the neighbors to serve his time, and that he's basically grounded forever.
Forever.
She did mention that he has aspirations on becoming a truck driver, which he believes may have inspired him to make the voyage.
All right.
Oh, so he's really interested in driving already. So it's like, let's just get out there and do it.
Same questions I have.
It's still grounded forever.
Did they bring money? Were they going to walk in or go through the drive-thru?
Yeah.
All those things.
I think they walked in because you would think that somebody from McDonald's would be like, hey, can we get somebody down here to take care of the kid that's in my drive-thru? Don't worry, I'll distract them. Get down
Again,
here.
I would just be like, hey, you got to pull to the side. It's not quite ready yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you call somebody and be like, there's a 7-year-old driving a car.
There's a child in here.
That's what sucks. They didn't make it to McDonald's. Like
They did, though, I thought.
No, they didn't get there. They got pulled over before that.
Yeah,
But I mean, if I'm a cop, I'm like, all right, guys, what do you want? I'll go get it for you. Like, while we're waiting for your mom to get here, whatever the deal is.
Good guy cop.
I know you want
Miles.
nuggets. What else?
No, it's the morning, man. They want the McBuilding. In other news, for more misbehaving children, go to Kentucky.
Sausage burrito.
Damn straight. A woman uploaded some welcome news to her social media page following some naughty behavior from her son. The young lad was playing with her phone when he caught the pangs of his sweet tooth and decided to go onto Amazon and order himself some delicious Dum Dum suckers.
Dum Dums really come.
Oh, yeah. Dum Dums are not that bad, man.
They're not that bad, but just the below pop is superior. I know you're a Tootsie Pop guy.
Yeah,
just
attaboy.
saying.
But he bought 30 cases of Dum Dums. The cases hold over 2,000 suckers and cost a whopping $130 a piece, meaning that he racked up a grand total of $4,000 in candy. The mother did her best to stop the shipment, but alas, they arrived to the delight of the young boy who said, "My suckers are here!" Like, no. She worked with Amazon, and they agreed to refund her money, also promising to make good on her community helping out, as the people volunteered to buy a box off of her to help ease the burden.
All right.
She said that all those orders will be filled shortly as well.
I did that once, ordering food late at night.
Bought way too damn much.
I thought I was ordering extra sauces, and I ordered 3 of the same damn meal.
Oh, damn.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What did you end up getting delivered 3 times over?
No. It was all in there.
No, I mean, what did you order? What was the...
I was trying... It was 3, like, quesadilla things from Taco Bell. So my buddy comes over the next day. I'm like, you want a quesadilla? He's like, why do you have extra quesadillas?
Why don't you?
Yeah, and I was like, I thought I was ordering extra nacho cheese sauce. Turns out I ordered 3 of these damn quesadillas.
No. Odd story out of Missouri, specifically the St. Louis airport. Officers were called about a man seated in one of the terminals that was violating the airport dress code. That means he was naked, guys.
Tase him.
Officers approached and asked for identification.
Where is he going to pull the ID from? If he hands you ID, don't take it. I can only think of one place he has it hidden. I'll just say, sir, what is your name? I don't want your ID, even if you got it on you.
Right?
Maybe that's just me, man.
Let me just cross-check this, man. Just, you sit there. Don't move.
Yeah.
Here's a blanket. Officers approached and asked for his identification, to which the man attempted to flee the scene, probably because Steve's right, he doesn't have any ID on him. He made it out of the terminal before being approached by another officer, to which he threatened the authority and even knocked his glasses off of his face.
Well, he made it through TSA. He apparently had to have a ticket. You don't get that far.
Correct.
So somehow, he'd lost his mind from the time that he checked into the time he got into his
Delayed
gate.
again. I don't get it. To California, where the wildlife have a sweet tooth as well. A local shop owner in Tahoe shared her story with the media after she stepped away from the shop for just a moment, leaving the back door unlocked. Great idea. Only to come back to find a 3-gallon bucket of chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream had gone missing. Great choice, by the way. Great choice. Checking security footage, suspicions were confirmed that it was the 4-year-old bear, well known in the area as Cinnamon, who had broken into the shop and stolen the large quantity of ice cream.
Yeah, I don't fault Cinnamon on that.
Now, she loves that Cinnamon was actually very neat with it. Didn't, make a huge mess or anything like that. Like she said, I wouldn't have known if there wasn't a muddy paw print on the floor, one, and then the cap to the ice cream was on the ground. Says usually if bears come in here and they ransack the place, they don't give a damn. They'll crack something open, eat it right there, throw it to the side, and then find something else. Cinnamon just grabbed the ice cream. All right, later,
Cinnamon has manners. Come on.
That's right. Cinnamon is a distinguished bear. But just in case those stories have a bad taste in your mouth,
thankfully there's good news.
To York County, Pennsylvania, for a story that's right out of a carnival game. Someone called authorities to report a squad of ducklings that had gotten themselves stuck in a storm drain outside of a local home. They deployed fire crews to the area, who were able to free the ducklings by flushing the drain and then using a net to scoop them out of the water.
All right. I could have come up with that. All right. Fellas, all right, yeah.
Just flood the damn thing. They were safely reunited with Mama shortly afterward. I like that. I would have come up with that. Just dump a bucket down there.
Yeah, I mean, I just wouldn't have thought that was cool, but yeah, all right, man.
They'll be fine, dude. Don't worry about them. They're good. Men's room sports. The Mariners are in Sacramento taking on the A's for a 3-game series, and unfortunately they tripped out of the gate on this one, boys. They lost that one 8-7, if I'm not mistaken, but they do continue on tonight. You've got hockey on ESPN, basketball on TNT and True TV, and the Mariners continue their series against the A's in Sacramento. Game 2 is over there en route. As far as your weather, beautiful day outside, right? It's a gorgeous day.
Yes.
Awesome. Going away. Clouds are starting to move in to bring temperatures down to the low 50s tonight, and tomorrow we're expecting scattered showers and a high right around 60 degrees. And that is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Who Sucks Less. Lovely Jolene's coming up next.
Yes, indeed. It's all true, but in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until tomorrow, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Hate doing cardio? Try brushing and flossing your teeth. I'm not talking about building up a sweat. I'm talking about building a healthier mouth. For a healthier heart, for a healthier you. Smile Generation trusted dentists look at your care through the lens of the mouth-body connection, because what happens in the mouth plays a critical role for the rest of your body. To find a dentist near you committed to treating all of you, visit smilegeneration.com/confidence today and live longer, healthier, and happier with confidence unleashed.
Ready to explore Europe the striped way? Then fly with Condor Airlines. With non-stop flights to Frankfurt, Germany, there are great connection options to several European cities. Whether it's the romantic streets of Paris or the stunning beaches of Barcelona, Condor will start your vacation and make it even more memorable by offering comfortable and spacious cabins where you can sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Fly the striped way. Visit condor.com today.
Bosch's innovative power tools make you feel like a Bosch. Like when you pile drive screws and bolts with the 2-in-1 impact driver, you'll feel like
Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh, yeah!
Or when you powerfully blast through concrete with the Bulldog rotary hammer, you'll feel
like I have the power!
And when you make buttery smooth cuts with the Glide Miter saw, you'll feel
Scoobity-bee-bop smooth, baby.
What he said. With expertly engineered power tools, the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a
Bosch.
Auto insurance rates are on the rise, which is why you should call Vern Fonk Insurance. Vern Fonk could save you up to 20% on your auto insurance. The pros at Vern Fonk will do all the work, comparing different plans to find you the best options. And they can insure you over the phone. One call to Vern Fonk could save you up to 20%. Call 206-408-5094. 206-408-5094.
Remember to honk when you drive by Vern Fonk.
Restrictions apply based on a Q3 2023 study of Vern Fonk insurance customers who reported saving when they switched. License number 1070622.